It is a cool and sunny Saturday here at Sal Magley Stadium as we gear up for the Niagara Falls Americans and the Batavia Muckdogs' fourth matchup of the season. Ethan, Duncan, and Tom Ruck with you here on the American Sports Network. Ethan, welcome in.
Should be going here for the Americans. Still looking for their first win against Batavia all year. Followed them at Batavia yesterday, 6-1. Americans started off hot with that one-run triple from Colin Price with 2 outs, but the offense sputtered after that. They've fallen 3 in a row to Batavia. Also snapped their 3-game win streak. Batavia hot as ever. 10-game win streak for the Muckdogs.
8 games, yep, 8.
For the Muckdogs, hottest team in the PGCBL by far. Looking to continue it here and make it 9 against the Americans on a beautiful Saturday night.
Yeah, the fourth meeting between these two teams, and Batavia single-handedly has just been dominating the Americans all year long. A plus 18 run differential in those 3 games between these two teams. Now time to take a look at the starting lineups for the Batavia Muckdogs, the visitors tonight. Looking at the Muckdogs batting order, Glenn Brooks will lead it off, playing center field. Jalen David will play right field. He'll bat second. Played shortstop last night, now moves to the outfield after committing an error. Jackson Inman over at third, and Evan Brock batting cleanup. He's hitting .500 on the season. That front four has not really changed much all year for the Muckdogs. Now adding Jackson Inman into the mix, but those 3 in Glenn Brooks, Jalen David, and Evan Brock have really been at the top of the lineup all season long. James Quintero, he'll bat 5th, play first base. Joey Socorro takes over behind the plate. Jeremy Ramos, a new face for the Muckdogs in the lineup for the first time in a couple days. He'll play left. Jacob Vezco, the designated hitter. Miles Manell back at shortstop. Has not played since Wednesday. And Braden Nye back up the middle as well. 2 new faces up the middle tonight for the Muckdogs. First time in a little while. Then Landon Stoddard will take over and pitch tonight for the Muckdogs. Now taking a look at the Americans' defensive alignment. Nick Pass back behind the plate with Aiden Rose, who just started 2 days ago against the Ironbacks. He's back on the bump. Adam Weiss over at first. Justin Gladfelter at second. Was not in the lineup last night. Back out there onto the field. Anthony Savino at shortstop. Cooper Rowell hasn't been in the lineup in a couple days. He's at third. Xander Clark in left. Jackson Bauer in center after David Harris suffered a thumb injury yesterday. Got taken out in the second inning. And then Colin Price back over there in right field. As we're time for baseball here at Sal Magley Stadium. First pitch is low and outside for ball number 1. Try to get our camera back here, a little technical difficulty. Brooks fouls that one down the line. So it'll be a 1-2 pitch coming to Glenn Brooks from Aiden Rose. We get our camera back. Aiden Rose deals the 1-2 to Brooks. Cut on and miss for strike 3. One quick out made by Aiden Rose on the bump and a strikeout of Glenn Brooks.
Strikeout there. Strikeout number 5 on the year from Rose. First game all year where he isn't playing the Ironbacks. Got the first win. The Americans beat the Ironbacks 7-5. It was a no decision in their comeback win. They beat the Ironbacks 10-9. Gave up 7 earned runs on that day, but pitching in relief really helped out the Americans to get the win.
Jalen David takes high for ball number 1. Like I mentioned, David made an error at shortstop last night. Coach Skip Martinez opting to move him back to the outfield. Known as a true utility guy.
Doesn't forget, though, that beautiful play he made earlier in that game. All out diving to rob the Americans of a hit.
That one's taken upstairs. Now 2-1. You know, I spoke with Aiden Rose pregame. Just started 2 days ago, June 18th, against the Ironbacks and fired 60 pitches. That one's flown into center field for a 1-out base hit for Jalen David. And Rose said his arm felt good. He was ready to go. So Not sure how long he'll be able to go tonight, but starting on the mound, to say the least.
Yeah, Americans really have struggled with their pitching, looking to use Moroz as long as they can. Only used 2 pitchers yesterday after Candifer. Long outing from Mitchell Canuel. Certainly to wonder who will be coming out of the bullpen in this game, but as you mentioned, going to try and use Moroz the best they can and as long as they can.
Yeah, that's back-to-back games where pitchers have had long outings out of the bullpen, as that one's fouled down the third base line. You know, you look back 2 nights ago in Jamestown where the Americans pulled off the upset, 9-8 comeback win. Logan Stickler fired 5 2/3 out of the bullpen. Mitchell Canuel 5 innings last night out of the pen. So the Americans not getting a ton of length from the starters, but able to make up for it out of the bullpen. David off first, definitely a threat to run. 15 steals on the year. As that one's taken upstairs for ball number 2. 1 out in the inning. Counts 2-1 against Jackson Inman. Rose working from the stretch. David off first. Rose steps off. Fakes his throw to first. Looks like it's going to be called a balk. Rose stepped to the side of the mound, didn't throw, so that is a balk. Maybe slipped a little bit. Looks like he was a little bit off balance.
Yeah, certainly haven't seen a lot of balks in a while, but moves the runner in scoring position. David to second. Now a single. Give the Ironbacks the lead. The Muckdogs the lead.
Rose working from the stretch now with David in scoring position. Count is 2-1. Deals to Inman for strike 2. Jackson Inman, 8 for his last 16. He's only played 6 games this year, but in those 6 games, hitting .524. Also just recently announced that he's going to the University of Richmond next year. Attended Salisbury, a D3 school. Now he's going from D3 to D1. Here's the pitch to Inman. Good block from Pass behind the plate. Now 3-2.
Inman had a great day yesterday. 2 for 4 with an RBI. Was one of four Muckdogs with a hit yesterday.
Yeah, these two teams battled it out last night in Batavia, and the Muckdogs came out on top 6-1. Actually held the American scoreless for 5 innings. There goes David from third, and Inman fouls it straight back. David looking for steal number 16 to lead the PGCBL.
Yeah, had 2 stolen bases yesterday. Looking to get one here to move into third.
So it's a full count. Pitch coming. Rose comes set, looks back at David, being held on by Savino. Here's the 3-2. Outside, misses ball 4. So there's the first walk issued, which is something the Americans have definitely struggled with this season.
Pass sort of digging outside. Get him in a swing. Quarter side will give the umpire more balls.
Here's Evan Brock. Like I mentioned earlier, batting .500 on the season. Interesting to me that they put him in the 4 spot. Yes, he's great at driving in runs, but that doesn't guarantee he'll get up in the first inning. So just an interesting note for me. There's the pick off to second, thrown into center field. Bauer going to have to back it up. He quickly gets it in, throws to second, and Inman's in there safe. David also moves up to third. A mistake by Aiden Moroz as he throws that one into center field. So Moroz now will work from the stretch. Corners will come in for the Americans. Middle back. Second and third, 1 out here in the top of the first. Rose deals to Evan Brock upstairs for ball number 1.
Yeah, so far in this game, Muckdogs haven't been able to steal any bases, mainly because of errors from Rose, that balk earlier, and that wild throw into center field to move him to second and third.
Here's the pitch to Brock. That one's hit into left field. Xander Clark is underneath it. David will tag. Throw comes into the shortstop in Savino, so it's a sacrifice fly for Evan Brock. He adds to his RBI total on the season, and the Muckdogs take an early 1-0 lead.
Just goes back to that wild throw instead of first and second and third, able to move up on one pitch.
Now batting the first baseman, number 16, James Quintero.
Here's James Quintero playing first base tonight. Bats from the left side. Inman did not tag. Fly ball was right to Xander Clark in left field, so it would have been a tough play for him to go from second to third on. So he's off a second, 2 outs in the inning. Here's the pitch to Quintero, taken for strike number 1 with the fastball. Rose comes to the Americans from the transfer portal, looking for a new place to play for next season. That one's chopped to second, fielded by Justin Gladfelter on the high hop. Goes over to first and makes the third out of the inning. Not before the Muckdogs score 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. After half an inning, the Muckdogs lead the Americans 1-0 here on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans thank Casella Waste Systems for their continued support. Casella offers sustainable waste management and garbage pickup right here in Niagara Falls. As an environmental service provider, Casella manages and transforms society's waste into new resources. Call 716-637-4843 to get a price quote on garbage pickup. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank TLC Pet Food for their continued support. Specializing in nutrient-dense recipes, TLC Pet Food offers dog and cat food with fresh ingredients and added probiotics. Find the whole life dog and cat formulas for your furry friend at tlcpetfood.com.
Welcome back to the Barber Shop, Sal Magley Stadium. Now time to take a look at the Americans' starting lineup tonight. Take it away, Ethan.
Leading off, once again, Justin Gladfelter coming in after the absence yesterday. Bauer moves down to second. Steve Ganchow in third as DH. Right fielder Colin Price. Left fielder Xander Clark. Third baseman Cooper Rowell. Adam Weiss back at first. Nick Patz back behind the dish. Anthony Savino at short. Evan Shank, 10-hitter. The extra hitter, obviously, with Moroz on the mound.
There's your lineup for the Americans, and here's the Muckdogs' defensive alignments. James Quintero over at first, Braden Nye at second, Miles Monell at shortstop, Jackson Inman over at third. Then you've got Jeremy Ramos in left, Glenn Brooks in center, and Jalen David over there in right with Joey Socorro behind the plate, catching for Landon Stoddard on the mound. So Justin Gladfelter will lead it off for the Americans. Again, did not play last night. Jackson Bauer in the leadoff spot last night. He's batting second. Been tearing it up as of late, though, at the plate as Bauer.
Yeah, Bauer had those 2 hits in their win against Jamestown, including 4 RBIs. Certainly a difference maker in that game.
Gladfelter been struggling a little bit at the plate. Had a hit in his last game played 2 nights ago. Still been walking too, which is a sign of a good hitter. When you're not hitting, you're still finding ways to get on base. Gladfelter digs in against Stoddard. Here's the 0-0. Fastball outside corner just misses. Ball number 1. Here's the 1-0 inside corner, misses again. Gladfelter quickly ahead, 2-0.
Yeah, we certainly talked about his good batter's eye on the year. So far this year, already 9 walks to 3 strikeouts.
Chop to Monell at short, bobbled, and he won't make the play. Speedy Gladfelter reaches on the E6, and the Americans have a runner on to start the bottom of the first.
Second straight game where the Americans gotten a hit off an error of the shortstop. This time it was David. This time it's Monell. Americans get a leadoff runner.
Center fielder, number 1, Jackson Bauer.
So in steps Jackson Bauer. He bats from the right side. Where's number 1? 4th start in a row for Bauer. He's got a 4-game on-base streak. Actually 5 for his last 10 at the plate. Chopped off his foot. That one hurt. Bauer going to walk it off, make sure he's all right. Bauer plays at Lock Haven University, a Division II school in Pennsylvania. This Batavia team has just been on fire as of late. They've scored 10-plus runs in 7 games this season. 6-1 in those games. Bauer takes for ball number 1. Muckdogs again defeated the Americans 6-1 at Batavia last night. Gladfelter's off first, pickoff throw. Back in plenty of time. The best base stealer on this team. 13 on the season, rivaling the Muckdogs' dynamic duo of stolen bases in Glenn Brooks and Jalen David, who are right up there with Gladfelter at the top of the league. Here's the pitch to Bauer, swung on and missed for strike number 2.
Yeah, certainly huge for the Muckdogs, having 2 players who can steal bases. Really, after Gladfelter, no one has more than 3, and that's how setup.
Yeah, the Muckdogs second in the league in stolen bases behind the Tarp Skunks. Gladfelter takes off, pickoff throw. He's caught in a rundown. We've got a pickle. Throw down to first. He's in there. Gladfelter makes it back just in time. So he works his way into and out of a pickle.
He's gotten in pickles before. That one looked like he was dead to right. Somehow got back into first base.
Skip Martinez is going to take a walk out and see if the umpires can chat it over with each other. Base ump talk to the home plate umpire, see if he had a better angle, which is entirely possible. The base umpire was behind the mound when he made the call. Definitely a little bit more of a tough angle. Skip Martinez now going to walk back to his dugout.
Certainly a big play here. Getting that leadoff runner off.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big run in Gladfelter, because if Bauer puts something in the gap, I mean, he has a really good chance of scoring. And now they're going to change the call. Looks like the home plate umpire had a better view, and they're going to rule Gladfelter out on the play. So a pickoff gets Justin Gladfelter for the first out of the inning. Jackson Bauer is going to dig back in after the home plate umpire explains his decision to manager of the Americans, Will Cordero. Beautiful Saturday night here at Sal Magley Stadium. We got a rainbow out in behind right field. Can't see it in the camera, but you could trust us. It's there. Count is 1-2. Stoddard against Bauer. Stoddard from East Bethany, New York, faces off against Bauer. The 1-2 misses, so it'll be a 2-2 pitch coming.
We talked about that huge first out. Americans actually really struggled to get those leadoff runners on. Only 2 for 9 yesterday. And you get one there, and it's picked off.
So it'll be a 2-2 pitch coming to Bauer. Once again, Bauer 5 for his last 10, but swinging a hot stick, cut on and missed for strike 3. Second out of the inning is made.
Talking about Bauer putting it in the gap.
Now
Couldn't get
batting the DH from
ball in
Clarence
play
Center,
off.
home field
Fouling the ball off.
broadcaster Tom Rook.
First time he started.
Number 15, Matt
2 quick
Ganschow.
outs. Bring up Matt Ganschow.
Here's Matt Ganschow. Ganschow 5 for his last 12, but also swinging a hot bat. Bauer and Ganschow, the 2-3. Bauer talking things over with the designated hitter of the Americans and Colin Price after what he just saw. A nice slider from Stoddard. There's that slider once again, but Ganschow takes it inside. Now 1-0. Stoddard works from the stretch with nobody on. Fastball misses low and out for ball number 1. Stoddard, a pitcher at Alfred State, Division III school. He made 6 appearances this past year, 5.2 innings. Gave up 12 runs. Ganschow drills that one to left. If it's fair, it's gone. And it fades foul into the Americans' bullpen.
just faded foul there. Ganschow got all of that one to be gone off the bat. Just curled left. Certainly seen a lot of those so far. Obviously 2 home runs, but a couple that look to be gone.
Here's the 2-1 to Ganschow. Flies that one into center. Moving over is Glenn Brooks, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So in the inning, no runs on, no hits, 1 error, and no men left on base. Ganschow is retired to end the inning. At the end of 1 complete inning, the Muckdogs lead 1-0 against the Americans. You're watching PGCBL Baseball on the American Sports Network.
A special thank you to Tropical Heating and Cooling for sponsoring the Americans this season. Locally owned and operated, Tropical Heating and Cooling provides expert installation, repair, and maintenance for home heating, cooling, and air quality systems. Call 716-870-0753 or head to tropicalheating.net to submit a service request and knock your heating and cooling needs out of the park. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Bully Hill Vineyards for their support all season long. On the south end of gorgeous Keuka Lake, you can taste over 40 wines and enjoy food at a family-friendly winery open 7 days a week. Visit bullyhillvineyards.com to learn more about what they have to offer. The Americans would like to thank Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric for their continuous support. Salino Plumbing's licensed Buffalo professionals strive for same-day service with fully stocked vehicles to reduce wait times. Whether it's emergency plumbing, mainline repairs, or anything in between, call 716-202-9665 for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical needs today.
Back here at Sal Magley Stadium. Bark in the Park night at Sal Magley Stadium. A lot of dogs in attendance.
Leading off for the Muckdogs is the catcher, number 34, Joey Socorro.
I know the box office manager, Dominic Dingle, was handing out pepperoni treats at the door for the furry friends walking in. So now leading things off for the Muckdogs here in the top half of the second is Joey Socorro. Socorro hasn't played since Wednesday, 0 for his last 8 at the plate. Chops that one to shortstop, fielded on the backhand by Savino. Long throw across the diamond, off the bag. Tag it at first by Adam Weiss, and Socorro is retired.
Similar play to that yesterday where Dave was charging down that first base line. Marcotte able to get the tag there. Came off the bag. Throw up to Savino, but Weiss able to get the big first out.
Here's Jeremy Ramos. Rose working from the windup. Here's the pitch. Misses outside for ball number 1. Rose behind 1-0. Here's the pitch. Inside. Misses. Oh, gets called a strike. Gets the call on the inside corner. Thought that one was off the plate, but home plate umpire thought otherwise.
A little late on the call, but you'll take it if you're an American.
Pitch from Rose outside. That one misses. Now 2-1. Ramos bats from the left side. Here against Rose. Comes to the Muckdogs from Binghamton University, Division I school. Fouls that one back. Ramos this past year at Binghamton, 7 games played. Just 2 hits and 8 at-bats, but going to be a sophomore, so that was just his freshman season. Here's the 2-2 from Rose. Chopped in the hole on the right side. Gladfelter can't get there, and there's a 1-out base hit for the Muckdogs and for Jeremy Ramos.
Long run there on that.
Now batting from Monroe
That's
Township,
chopper.
New Jersey and Iona University, it's the DH, number 99,
1-out single here
Vesco.
for Ramos.
Here's Jacob Vezko. Also has not played since Wednesday. Muckdogs going with a different look tonight. They're on an 8-game win streak, so at the moment it doesn't matter really who they put in the lineup. They're still going to win. Is what it looks like, as that one's taken on the outside corner for strike number 1. Already 2 hits in the game for the Muckdogs. They are 7-1 when they get in double-digit hits, so that's something to watch out for. 8 more, and then they're in that category. That one's taken upstairs for ball number 1. Vesco struggling at the plate in his last couple games, 2 for his last 14. Just 3 hits and 17 at-bats on the season. Started 3 for 3. Rose checks him at first. Here's the pitch. Outside corner misses. Now 2-1.
As you mentioned, didn't play since Wednesday, so wasn't active in the game yesterday, but had 2 walks in their win against the Americans on June 5th. Also had a hit in their win against the Americans on the 15th.
Pitch from Rose. Cut on and missed. Now it'll be a 2-2. You got to feel a little bit for Aiden Rose. Recently attended Anna Maria, and that school is now closed. So Moreau's going to have to find a new place to play for next season. Actually from Buffalo, born and raised. There's a pitch fouled down the first baseline. Rose played third base and shortstop as a freshman at Anna Maria. Actually batted .333, 2 RBIs, and just appeared 3 times on the mound, 2.2 innings, and gave up 3 earned. Went to Sweet Home High School. Here's the pitch from Rose, 2-2. That one's hit into left field. Coming on Xander Clark. He hauls it in for the second out of the inning. And Ramos going to retreat to first base.
Looking to steal there. So far on the year, Ramos has 2 stolen bases. Has to retreat back to first in the line out to Xander Clark.
Here's Miles Monell. Struggles a little bit defensively for the Muckdogs, obviously showing that error in the first inning. Didn't get the start last night at shortstop. Jalen David got the start, as I mentioned earlier on in the game. That shortstop position been kryptonite for the Muckdogs these past couple games. 2 errors in the past 2 games at shortstop.
That error from David yesterday really didn't hurt Muckdogs at all, but obviously want to keep that fielding percentage up.
Yeah, Muckdogs have now made an error in 7 consecutive games, committed an error, but doesn't fault them. There goes Ramos from first, but chopped foul. Skip Martinez hands in the air, thinking maybe Ramos didn't get the steal sign correct or something went wrong, because I don't think Ramos was supposed to be running on that play.
Had a pretty good jump there. Obviously not happy with Ramos.
Here's the pitch from Rose. Misses upstairs for ball 2. It'll be a 2-1 pitch coming to Miles Monell. Monell currently in the transfer portal. Played last season at St. Michael's College in Colchester, Vermont. Here's the pitch. Chopped up the middle. Fielded by Gladfelter on the backhand. Flipped to Savino at second, and he can't make the play. Would have been a tough play had Savino caught it. He's got to be catching it off guard, and would have been a tough play. That's it. Definitely a tough play. Looks like it's going to be a hit. Would have been a really tough play for Gladfelter. Flip would have had to be perfect.
Number 17, Braden I.
Here's Braden I. He bats from the left side. Hit down the first baseline. Fielded by Adam Weiss. A nice play, but it's kicked foul, so that's strike number 1. I bats from the left side. Down 0-1 against Moreau. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, just misses for ball number 1. Be a 1-1 pitch coming from Rose to Braden I, who's the second leadoff hitter tonight for the Muckdogs. Chops back to Morose. Easy play. Fields it, flips on to first. And there's the third out of the inning. So in the inning, no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 1.5 innings, the Muckdogs lead the Americans 1-0 here at Sal Magley Stadium. And you're watching PGCBL Baseball on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank TLC Pet Food for their continued support. Specializing in nutrient-dense recipes, TLC Pet Food offers dog and cat food with fresh ingredients and added probiotics. Find the whole life dog and cat formulas for your furry friend at tlcpetfood.com. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Coca-Cola for their support this season. Known for its refreshing bubbles and iconic flavor, Coca-Cola is the world's best-selling carbonated soft drink. Snag a Coke right here at the Sal Magley Stadium concession stand and make your game day even sweeter. Sammy's Pizzeria has been family-owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and are the originators of the one-half tray of pizza. The Americans would like to thank Sammy's for sponsoring the team this season. Pick up all your favorites right across the street from Sal Magley Stadium at Sammy's Pizzeria. The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Greater Together Credit Union. Greater Together Credit Union provides personalized banking, loans, mortgages, and savings accounts for anyone living, working, or attending school in Erie or Niagara counties. For more information, current rates, or to apply for membership, visit greatertogethercu.com.
Back here at Sal Magley Stadium, here's Colin Price. Had a great day at the plate yesterday at Dwyer Stadium. Had 2 hits, a triple in the first inning. Actually scored the first run of the ball game and gave the Americans a 1-0 lead. And then they never saw another run cross home plate. Shut out for 8 innings by the Muckdogs pitching staff. That one misses upstairs. Now 1-1 against Price. Price redshirted this past year at Georgia Highlands College. Going to be a redshirt freshman in the fall. Fastball misses outside.
Oh, you're doing trivia, Matt? Yeah. Okay.
That was Price's first extra base hit yesterday, second RBI. Really had that spark for the Americans, so no one else could fill it.
Pitch to Price, misses inside. Now 3-1. Americans had the leadoff runner reach in Justin Gladfelter last inning, but he was picked off. Here's the pitch to Price inside, and it hits him. Price crowding the plate, kind of half swung. Stoddard throws up his arms like, I think he swung there, but it looks like Price is all right. He's going to jog it down to first. Still feeling the injury a little bit, though.
First hit by pitch on the year for Colin Price.
Left fielder, the X-Man, Xander Clark.
Obviously, the home plate umpire had a better call, like that pickoff at first, but didn't think he went around there. So another leadoff for the Americans with Colin Price on at first. Brings up Xander Clark.
So here's the X-Man, Xander Clark, playing left field today. That's from the left side. There goes Price on the first pitch, thrown out to second, not nearly in time. A good pitch to run on for Colin Price, and he's got the first stolen bag of the day for the Americans.
Great pitch to run on there. Outside fastball. This wants to go out all the way there, all the way outside. 1 to present a pass ball, 2 to try and steal him. No chance for Socorro. Price already in the scoring position on 1 pitch.
That one's taken for ball 2. Clark quickly ahead 2-0. Stoddard struggling to find the zone a little bit here in this half an inning.
Usually a relief guy. His first appearance on the year starting. As far as 3 appearances prior, coming in from the bullpen.
Clark cuts on and misses there for strike 1. Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. Stoddard, like you mentioned, first start of the year, so that length, how far is he going to be able to go in this game? But the Muckdogs lead the entire PGCBL and team ERA, so I don't think they'll have to worry about it as Xander Clark wears that one. Now back-to-back hit by pitches issued by Landon Stoddard.
Hey, fan, what comes from Jacksonville, Florida, and plays third base? Our next batter,
Americans had 3 hit by
6,
pitches
Cooper
yesterday,
Rowell.
only 1 for the Muckdogs, but already 2 here for Stoddard. Now first and second, still no one out. So it brings up Cooper Rowell.
Yeah, something the Muckdogs do incredibly well. The Americans actually tapping into it so far tonight is getting hit by pitches. The Muckdogs lead the PGCBL in hit by pitches with 39 on the year. And they don't tend to hit a lot of batters either. They've only hit 19 hitters on the year, which is actually fewest in the West. Now that number up to 21 with 2 already tonight.
Cooper Rowell, no stranger to hit by pitches, has 3 on the year. For second after Zangardi, he's wearing it. He's wore it so many times as 6.
Yeah, 6 hit by pitches on the year. You got to feel for the kid a little bit. Here's the pitch to Cooper Rowell. Takes strike number 1. Rowell playing for the first time in a couple days here for the Americans. Christian Mikulski gotten the start over there at third the past 2 nights. Now Rowell back at the hot corner. A little bit of a closed stance from Rowell. Here's the 0-1. Pops that one into right field. David's under it. Price will fake the tag, draw the throw, and it is an absolute hose from Jalen.
Did you mention a frozen rope there by David? Price would have been out by a mile, so Rowell's fly out. He's able to move the runners up.
So in steps Adam Weiss. Got the day off yesterday, but been a consistent first baseman this year. The consistent first baseman for the Americans. Actually is riding an 8-game on-base streak. Weiss also a closed stance, similar to Rowell. It'll be an 0-0 to Adam Weiss. And that one's thrown up behind Weiss, so the runners will move up 90 feet. Stoddard lost control of the zone in this inning.
Super high throw. Sikora had to jump up in the air to get that one. Looked like it might have hit Weiss first. Goes high enough, but still regardless, second and third.
Yeah, Weiss stayed put. He was going to let it wear him. So the Muckdogs will bring the corners in with second and third. Now Weiss at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Misses. Now 2-0. Weiss already ahead 2-0. He's got a walk in 7 of 8 games he's played this year.
Weiss thrives on the walks. 11, second closest. He's Gladfelter with 9.
There's one in the dirt. Weiss quickly ahead 3-0. And Stoddard really cannot find the zone as of late here.
Socorro, they don't really seem on the same page. Obviously, that wild pitch keeps going low. It's eaten up Socorro twice already. 3-0 here. Still struggling to find the zone, as you mentioned. Just want to walk the bases here.
Here's the 3-0, and that one misses for ball 4. So now Weiss extends his walk streak.
I'm sorry to say this, but we're going to have to ask you not
and
to
on base
stand
streak
up
to
against
9.
the fence that rings the ballpark. This is a safety issue. We've had some injuries in the past, so I'm sorry, guys, but we're going to have to ask you not to stand up against the fence during the game. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm sorry, Phil.
Grant Beckham going to walk to the mound and talk things over with his pitcher, Landon Stoddard. And it's time for me to tell you about Blaze Brockway Contracting. Blaze Brockway Contracting is a family-owned general contracting and home improvement business serving the greater Elmira and Southern Tier region. In business for over 15 years, Blaze Brockway specializes in both interior and exterior renovation projects, from kitchen remodels to framing and custom cabinet installation to gutter and roof improvements. Blaze Brockway has you covered. Call 607-259-7607 for all of your construction and remodeling needs. The Americans are thankful for the continued support of Blaze Brockway Contracting.
Number 20, Nick Past.
So Grant Beckham going to walk back to the dugout. No action in the Muckdogs' pen. This inning is all Stoddard to work out of. And here's Nick Past, who's played 2 games this season and had 2 hits, including a home run. Here's the 0-0. Past drives that one into right center. Back goes David. He won't get there. And that one's over the fence. Nick Past, a grand slam. And the Americans now lead 4-1 here in the bottom half of the second.
What a season so far for Nick Pats. The Americans 6 games to get a home run. Pats already 2 in his last 3 games. Into right center here, a bomb from the catcher. It's that crooked 4 for the Americans. They're up 4-1.
Now batting, a local hero from Niagara Falls, New York.
That was a shot by Nick Past. A grand slam. Here's Anthony Savino, the hometown hero, playing shortstop tonight. Chops that one up the middle. Ranging over Manel. He won't get there. Savino reaches with a 1-out single.
Americans just finding it here. Still down on hits. Compared to Batavia, we have 3, but crooked 4 is certainly the big one there. Savino laces one up the middle. He's been struggling early in the year, except for it there. on a one-out single.
Here's Evan Shank. How about Nick Pass? 3 games played, 2 bombs already for this Americans team. Joined the Americans a little bit late in the summer, but he's already made his mark.
Yeah, the one thing you wish he came earlier in the year, but 2 home runs already.
That one's popped into shallow right center. Drifting back is coming on is Brooks, and he makes the catch. Glenn Brooks in center field. Evan Shank is retired for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring back the top of the order in Justin Gladfelter.
Now batting at the top of the order.
Gladfelter's that big first out, bottom of the first, getting picked off. Americans really didn't do much after that. He's got Savino at first.
So 2 outs in the inning. The Cooper Rowell fly out to right, and an Evan Shank fly out to center.
The 1 stolen base on the year for Savino.
That one misses outside for ball number 1. Gladfelter reached on an E6 last inning, but then was picked off for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. Be a 1-0 from Stoddard. Almost hits Gladfelter in the head. Now 2-0. Some action in the Muckdogs bullpen as Irwin's Branch is getting loose. Definitely a power arm for that Muckdogs team. Somebody the Americans don't want to see up. Gladfelter takes strike 1, 2-1 now.
Gladfelter's a couple inches taller. That one's nailing him in the head there. Guess Short Kings do have something going for them there.
Yeah, ducked down just in time. 2-1 to Gladfelter. Fastball misses. It actually gets by Socorro at home. Savino, he's going to round second. Look to go to third, but stop at second. So now the Americans have a runner in scoring position in Anthony Savino.
Another wild pitch here for the Muckdogs. Bounced down and up to the netting. Savino with a clap. Wondered maybe should have tried to go to third. Still in second now. A hitter's count here as well for Justin Gladfelter.
Just 13 wild pitches on the season. That's the 3rd fewest in the West. And that one hits him. That one hurt. A fastball ran up and in and drilled Justin Gladfelter in the shoulder. Looks like he's going to be okay, though. Takes off his batting gloves and heads down to first base.
3rd hit by pitch on the year for Gladfelter. That one off the shoulder. Going to see another mound visit here. I think they're trying to get Stoddard out as well. Certainly not the best outing for him. A couple hit by pitches and that grand slammy to Pats.
Skip Martinez is going to call on Irwin's Branch out of the bullpen, with Jackson Bauer at the plate for the Americans. It'll be Branch versus Bauer coming up here on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank McDonald's for being a sponsor of the team this year. With an extensive menu of well-known favorites, McDonald's is famous for its convenience. Especially during a long baseball season, McDonald's is the perfect place to grab a quick bite to eat and get right back to the ballpark. So head to your nearest McDonald's and enjoy all the classics. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Coca-Cola for their support this season. Known for its refreshing bubbles and iconic flavor, Coca-Cola is the world's best-selling carbonated soft drink. Snag a Coke right here at the Sal Magley Stadium concession stand and make your game day even sweeter. The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Greater Together Credit Union. Greater Together Credit Union provides personalized banking, loans, mortgages, and savings accounts for anyone living, working, or attending school in Erie or Niagara counties. For more information, current rates, or to apply for membership, visit greatertogethercu.com.
So Irwin's Branch enters out of the bullpen in right field for the Muckdogs. Already 4 runs in the inning, coming on 1 swing from the backstop of the Americans in Nick Past. Past played for the Americans last summer, already showcasing his talents this summer. Had 1 homer last summer in 30 games, now 2 homers already in 3 games.
Yeah, certainly has improved a year later. Wonder if we'll get him next year at 30.
That's the best way to keep up with everything Niagara Falls.
So Irwin's Branch against Jackson Bauer coming up here.
Known as Twitter. Just search for Niagara Falls Americans.
Jackson Bauer 0 for 1 today with a strikeout last inning against Stoddard, who just completely lost control. I mean, 3 hit by pitches and a walk in the inning, and a couple wild pitches as well.
It's a pretty good pitch to pass. Just has able to drive it. Really was an issue on that pitch. Didn't really leave it over the middle of the plate, but to mention, big spot here for Bauer. Going to continue this Americans lead. Branch trying to shut the door at least in this bottom of the second.
So first and second. Gladfelter off of first, Savino off second. Branch works the 0-0. Fastball misses down and away. Irwin's Branch from the Bronx had a journey of a college career, to say the least, as he's down 1-0 to Jackson Bauer. Working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Bauer. Fastball misses down for ball 2. Branch played 2 seasons at Mineral Area Community College, then transferred to Herkimer County Community College, and then transferred to St. Xavier, where he did not pitch at all, in Chicago. Now back in the transfer portal, looking for a 4th school. Here's the 2-0, misses in the dirt, now 3-0.
That was only the second home run the Muckdogs have given up on the year. Garrett had one given up, but prior to that, only once.
Bauer quickly ahead 3-0. Branch had to get up quickly, which is definitely something to keep in mind, as he's already down 3-0 to Bauer. 2 outs in the inning, though, first and second. Bauer doesn't get the green light, takes strike number 1.
No reason to there. Obviously, 2 outs, first and second. Want to take what you can get.
So it'll be a 3-1 coming to Jackson Bauer from Branch. Branch working from the stretch, taking his time. Here's the 3-1. Fastball upstairs, misses, ball 4. So the second walk of the inning worked for the Americans offense, and in steps Matt Ganschow.
Second walk, but more importantly, second time the Americans have the bases loaded, and you certainly want Ganschow up.
So in the inning, the Americans have scored 4 on 2 hits, which is not a normal ratio you see. 4 runs just on 2 hits, but they've been issued plenty of free bases. Ganschow chops that one down the third baseline for strike number 1. Ganschow aggressive early, hacking at the first pitch after a 5-pitch walk issued to Jackson Bauer.
Bauer has it, excuse me, not Bauer. Ganschow is a pretty good batter's eye. If he sees the pitch you want, you'll know he'll swing no matter what the count is.
Here's Branch's 0-1 to Ganschow. This is upstairs with the curveball. Now 1-1. Count is even at 1. Branch coming in now, bases loaded out of the bullpen in just the second inning, excuse me. That one hits Ganschow, and up and in fastball for the 4th hit by pitch of the inning. A scary one that Ganschow barely gets out of the way, and that one just clipped him, but could have been a lot worse. Hold your breath, make sure Ganshaw's okay. Quickly runs down to first, and that's an RBI hit by pitch.
Could have been a lot worse indeed. Certainly one of the best case scenarios for a hit by pitch there. To dart out of the way, I was going to talk about leading the team by far in RBIs, 14, now up to 15.
So in steps Colin Price, who started this inning with, you guessed it, a hit by pitch. First pitch to Price, hit fouled on the first baseline. Price attacking early against Branch.
Only the second hit by pitch on the year for Branch. They leave the base, keep the bases loaded.
Here's the pitch from Branch. Hit into right field, and it falls for a base hit. Gladfelter scores. Here comes Bauer. The throw in, cut off by Quintero at first, and it's a 2-out, 2-run single from Evan Brock.
Brock just lines it into right.
Colin Price, excuse me, not Evan Brock.
Colin Price lines it into right as we get a sun shower here, but certainly isn't cooling off the Americans' bats. Price able to score 2 on a single. Now runners at the corners for Branch.
Number 5, Xander Clark.
Brock and Price were number 11, so got confused there. Flipped teams, that's on me. But Price with the 2-out, 2-run single now makes it 6 runs in the inning. Colin Price off first. There he goes. That one's hit into left field. Bloops, and it's going to fall for a base hit. Another one that gets over the head of Ramos. Price going to round third. He's going to score. Clark cruises around second. He's headed for third. Ramos falls. Clark gets the wave. He's headed for home to throw in. A close play at home, and Clark is out. Clark thought he got under the tag and just misses the inside the park home run. Nonetheless, 2-run score on the play, and the Americans have an 8-1 lead after they put up an 8 spot here in the second inning.
Rarely you get the wave around on inside the park, but really everything went right there for Clark. Bounces over the head of Ramos, rolls all the way to the wall, and has trouble picking it up from the fence. Clark's certainly a fast player, but a good throw in out by a step. Still, more importantly, Americans knock on 2 more. So they're up 8-1 here after a huge bottom of the second.
Xander Clark gets a little bit lucky with the bounce as it gets over the head of Ramos. That one's going to be ruled a single with an E7.
Kelly. All right, Kelly, I'm going to have you look at the board and read this question. I'll read it to you as well. In 2024, which Major League Baseball player's dog threw out the first pitch? Is it A, Freddie Freeman?
So Aiden Rose back out there for his third inning of work, excuse me.
Think about it and you'll see.
I was going to say, they always say choose C if you're not sure. So C. That is correct. Good work, Kelly.
Top of the third is brought to you by
The
Casella.
Niagara Falls Americans thank Casella.
I'd like to thank Casella Waste Systems for sponsoring the team this season. Casella provides residents with professional waste control and garbage pickup in Niagara Falls that is extremely sustainable. They also offer commercial dumpster rentals for construction and other cleanup needs. Contact Casella now at 716-637-4843 to receive a price quote on garbage pickup. So we are now in the top of the third. And it's Aiden Rose against, that one's dribbled down the third baseline. Foul. Now against Glenn Brooks, the leadoff hitter for the Muckdogs. Brooks struck out back in the first against Rose. Now in his second at bat against Aiden Rose. Rose misses on that one, so it'll be a 2-1 pitch coming to Glenn Brooks. Brooks, the center fielder for the Muckdogs tonight. That one's taken low. Dropped it home by pass. He taps his chest back to Rose, says, "That's on me." Pass, been a good defensive catcher for the Americans this season. Just played 3 games and already thrown out 2 runners. That one's flown into left field. Back goes Xander Clark. He's near the warning track, but hauls it in. A nice running catch by Xander Clark as it starts to rain here at Sal Magley. And the fans are going to scramble from the bleachers.
Now batting right fielder, number 50, Jalen David.
Rain starting to actually pour down now.
For rain, please stop.
1 out in the inning as Jalen David digs in. That one called a strike on the outside corner. Slider. pitch from Rose. Fastball outside corner. Another strike. Now 0-2. One out in the inning. Here's the 0-2 from Rose. Misses outside. Now 1-2. It's now raining really hard. Cut on and miss. Strike 3. And in the pouring rain, Aiden Rose works a strikeout against Jalen David.
2 quick outs here for the Americans. It's the second strikeout of the game here from Rose.
So in steps Jackson Inman, playing third base tonight for the Muckdogs. He rips that one through the left side for a base hit. Cut off by Clark, who has to slide. Inman now going to take off for second, and he's going to make it. Looks like Clark had trouble handling that one in left field. And there's another E7.
Easily would have gotten in safely. Clark, who nearly had the inside to Parker, just eats him up and made the great play before to get Brooks out. Now runner in scoring position here for Inman as the rain continues to fall.
Yeah, now really pouring here at Sal Magley Stadium. Still playing baseball, though. Of course, all turf, artificial. Makes it great to play ball. If we were in Batavia right now, we'd probably be waiting out the rain, putting the tarp on the field. Rose steps off as he was in the windup. Notices it, now gets back in the stretch with Inman off second. 2 outs in the inning, a Jalen David strikeout and a Glenn Brooks fly out to left field. Here's the pitch from Rose. Fastball just misses against Evan Brock. Brock been one of the best hitters in all of the PGCBL this season. Rose checks Inman at second. Pitch in the dirt. Good block from Past, as he'll ask for a new baseball.
Brock looking to put himself into second for the RBIs to Cesare of the Muckdogs. Obviously, Rivera still in first with 25. Could do that with a single.
Rose working from the stretch, down 2-0 here to Evan Brock. A dangerous pitch coming to a dangerous hitter. Fastball outside corner, misses. Now 3-0. Rose looks like he's having some trouble gripping the baseball here with the rain still pouring down. We had an announced crowd of 1301 tonight, and they have all kind of disappeared because of this pouring rain. 3-0 coming from Rose. Misses down and out for ball number 4. So Brock reaches with the 2-out walk.
Stepping in for the Muckdogs, first baseman number 16.
Walk number 9 here for Brock. One of the few things you can't check on the PGCBO website is the league leaders in walks. Brock and Weiss probably certainly be up there.
So now Rose working from the stretch against James Quintero. That one's flown into center. Jackson Bauer underneath it. And he makes the play. So James Quintero is retired to end the top of the third. And in the top of the third, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. 1 error, excuse me. 2 men left on base. We played 2.5 innings. The Muckdogs trail the Americans 8-1 here at Sal Magley Stadium. And you're watching PGCBL Baseball on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Stalka Agency. Serving Western New York since 1957, Stalka Agency makes insurance simple through proactive planning and straightforward conversations. Call the local Stalka Insurance team at 716-634-7070 to get a tailored insurance quote that's as precise as a pitcher painting the outside corner. Sammy's Pizzeria has been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and are the originators of the 1/2 tray of pizza. The Americans would like to thank Sammy's for sponsoring the team this season. Pick up all your favorites right across the street from Sal Magley Stadium at Sammy's Pizzeria. The Americans would like to thank Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric for their continuous support. Salino Plumbing's licensed Buffalo professionals strive for same-day service with fully stocked vehicles to reduce wait times. Whether it's emergency plumbing, mainline repairs, or anything in between, call 716-202-9665 for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical needs today. The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the ongoing support of Blaze Brockway Contracting. Family owned and operated for over 15 years, Blaze Brockway Contracting specializes in all aspects of remodeling and renovation. Call 607-259-7607 for all of your construction and home improvement needs.
Back here at Sal Magley Stadium in the rain. Still coming down as we're now in the bottom of the third inning. But the Americans pouring it on, literally, here against the Muckdogs, 8-1.
Yeah, tied with hits here, 4 apiece, but at 8 runs second, really the main story here today.
Americans in the bottom of the third baseman number 6, Cooper Rao.
They scored 8 runs last inning. And now lead 8-1 against the Muckdogs. And in steps Cooper Rowell. The Americans batted around last inning. Colin Price and Xander Clark both batted twice. This is upstairs for ball number 1. Irwin's Branch still out there. Now in his second inning of work against this Americans offense. Here's the 1-0. Hit fouled on the first baseline. Now 1-1.
Seems almost ubiquitous here. Every fan trying to get that foul ball and trade it in for some candy.
Yeah, the rule at Sal Magley Stadium, trade in the foul ball, you get a box of candy at the concession stand. Here's the pitch from Branch. Misses low and away for ball number 2. Branch missing low all of a sudden. Could be because of the wet baseball. Was missing high last inning. Now kind of flipped the script. 2-1 is the count against Cooper Rowell, the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the third here for the Americans. Pitch outside corner called a strike. It'll be a 2-2. Come to Cooper Rowell. Just the second time all year the Muckdogs have lent in 8 or more runs. A couple nights ago they beat the Geneva Red Wings 16-14, but every single game otherwise their opponent's been under 8 runs. Pitch from Branch. Rowell hits that one into left, shallow left, and Ramos makes a nice sliding catch for the first out of the inning.
Rowell hit that one off the bat. Looked like it was going to go pretty far. Then having to come in there as Ramos make a sliding catch. You could see the water around him sort of tread up there. Might have been some crustaceans there in that water for big out number 1.
Yeah, when it does rain on the turf, it sometimes just sits afloat, some standing water, and hopefully we don't have that here. And here's Adam Weiss. Where's number 26 for the Americans, playing first base this evening. Takes strike number 1 on the outside corner. Still pouring rain here. Branch going to change baseballs as he lobs that one into his catcher and Joey Socorro, who flips it towards the Muckdogs dugout to dry it off. Americans back at home here at Sal Magley Stadium tomorrow. A 4:05 start against the 8th place Newark Pilots, who are struggling this year. Here's the 0-1. Oh, that one misses just a bit outside. Actually, just a bit inside, but not even close from Irwin's Branch. Now 1-1. You can definitely see the wet ball starting to play a factor as we are still playing baseball.
And certainly struggling to find the zone here. That one way inside.
Branch works from the windup. Fastball hits a right field, but it's going to kick foul. Now 2-2. Excuse me, 1 and 2 on the play. Weiss worked a walk back last inning, then came around to score on the Nick pass, grand slam to right center. The Americans lead 8-1. With the rain coming down, reminder that they got to play 5 complete innings to count this. Branch works from the windup. Here's the 2-2 against Weiss. Hit into center field. Back goes Brooks, and he makes the play. He had to backtrack after he worked in at first, then backed up and made a nice play on a hard hit ball from Adam Weiss.
Another line out here. Once again, having to shade in and come out. Weiss doesn't get enough on it to go over the head of Brooks. 2 quick outs here for Branch after the fiasco of that bottom of the second.
Can see Nick Pass dig in, kind of move his cleat around to make sure he's got a grip in the box. Pass digs in after homering last inning to start a big rally for the Americans there in that second inning. Takes ball outside, 1-0. A little injury report for the Americans. Derek Jesmonti still dealing with a strained calf, so he's out for the next couple days. And David Harris hurt his right thumb in last night's game, was pulled in the second inning, so now he's out for the near future. Pass takes that one upstairs for ball number 2. Talked to Harris earlier today. Said he's going to be okay. Just kind of had a base hit last night in the first inning, but had to be removed because he hurt the thumb so bad on the hit. Very swollen today still from last night. Here's the 2-0 from Past. Pitch called a strike, so now it'll be a 2-1 coming.
Yeah, 2 tough injuries to this Americans outfield, but obviously have some other players out there. Clark, along with a couple others as well. Plenty of outfielders not a problem for the Americans.
Yeah, Xander Clark getting the start in left field today. 2-1 to Past. In the dirt, now ball 3. In the turf, I should say. Yeah, very deep outfield this year for the Americans. You kind of could flip a coin and throw anybody out there. They've done really well. Zangardi on the bench today, but he's batting over 300 this year. Been great for this Americans team. As well as Clark, Jesmonti, Ganschow, the designated hitter today, but played left field a bunch. Bauer now played 4 games in a row. He's certainly making his case to be in the lineup every day. Branch changes baseballs once again. Pass steps in ahead 3-1. Definitely a good hitter's count. Branch got to be careful he doesn't leave anything over the plate against Nick Past here.
Yeah, started out with that the hard way.
That one's flown into left center, and it's going to fall for a 2-out base hit. Pass rounds first hard. He'll stop right there. So now Pass 2 for 2 on the day.
Pats get quietly into contention for a cycle watch here. Home run and first. Home run and a single, excuse me. Another hit for him with 2 outs.
Now batting for the Americans, shortstop number 22, Anthony Savino.
So in steps Anthony Savino.
He's also looking for a second hit.
We mentioned how this is Nick Pass's 3rd game played. He's 4 for 8 in those 3 games. First 8 plate appearances of the season. Savino in the box. 0-0 count, 2 outs in the inning. Passed off first. Branch works from the stretch. Checks on pass, now delivers. Curveball in there for strike number 1. Branch sits in the lower 90s with his fastball. Then works off of that fastball with a sharp curveball. Pick off to first to Quintero. Pass back in plenty of time.
Smile on his face there. Really not much of a pickoff. Just overhead throw. Almost tossed it up in the air. We saw a rainbow earlier. Almost saw one there again on that throw. That one much more urgent.
Another pickoff. Making sure Pass stays put at first.
Got to be careful. He doesn't want to throw it past the first baseman and get him into second.
It'll be an 0-1 to Savino. The pitch from Branch misses outside. Now 1-1. Savino, 1 for 1 today. A base hit last inning. He came around to score on the Colin Price single.
Pats still no stolen base yet. Obviously, only 3 games in. Certainly could try here.
Check that. Savino came around to score, obviously, on the grand slam, but now steps into the box with 2 outs in the inning. Misses outside. Now 2-1. So it'll be a 2-1 pitch coming to Anthony Savino. Savino was a graduate of Niagara Falls High School, is a graduate of Niagara Falls High School, sophomore at Frostburg State University in Maryland. Here's the 2-1 to Savino. Taking in the dirt, a good block back there by Socorro. Seen a couple different catchers back there this season for the Muckdogs. Luke Rabinski, one of those guys, bats left-handed. Last night, Cooper Romick was back there, so some versatility for Skip Martinez to use whether he wants a right-hander or left-hander, and he opts to start Socorro tonight, the right-hander. Here's the 3-1 to Savino, chopped behind home. Now 3-2, so that will release the runner and Nick Past off of first. He'll get a head start. Savino in the box. Now full count pitch coming from Irwin's Branch, who actually was a Muckdog last summer as well. Returns to Batavia for the 2nd straight summer. Quintero still holding on past at first. There he goes. Pitch to Savino, misses low and away for ball 4. So now the Americans set up here with 2 outs, 1st and 2nd.
Another walk here for Branch. Number 2 here, 1st and 2nd again. It feels like every inning so far, Americans have had 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. Also have had bases loaded last 2 innings as well. Gonna see if Shank can reach to bring up Gladfelter. The bases loaded situation again as Shank's looking for his first hit.
Evan Shank hitting in that 10 spot tonight as the extra hitter. Here's the pitch. Misses low for ball 1. The Americans were down 4 runs last night to the Muckdogs. Evan Shank actually got loose to come in out of the bullpen. Did not have to come in, though, as Mitch Canuel fired 5 complete innings. Only gave up a run. Big round of applause for Mitch Canuel's outing yesterday.
Similar situation with Munakata warming when Stickler got that huge win as he pitched 5 as well.
Shank takes strike number 1 on the outside corner. Yeah, Shank, Munakata warming last night. Even Justin Gladfelter getting up. The Americans were going to have to turn to a position player just because of how short they were on pitching. But Mitch Canuel, again, just did a great job holding the Muckdogs to 1 run in 5 innings. 1-1, pitch to Shank. Fastball up and in, misses. Now 2-1. Shank looking for a new opportunity this upcoming collegiate season. Now played 2 years at Tompkins Cortland Community College in Dryden, New York. This past year, played 37 games, batted .298, a .446 on-base percentage, though. Branch works from the stretch, deals the 2-1 to Shank. Fastball up and in, misses again, now 3-1.
He's pitched high and inside these last 4 pitches, able to catch the zone on that second pitch, but so far, still struggling to control out the strike zone so far. Only 40% strikes as the rain continues to fall.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped. I mean, still pouring.
It'll stop around 10 minutes from now, but it looks to be off and on around 9 and 10 p.m.
Here's the 3-1 to Shank. Misses up and in again, now ball 4. So 2nd walk in a row issued by Irwin's Branch. And that'll load the bases for the top of the order in Justin Gladfelter.
Certainly the hit by pitches, the walks were the difference maker in this game for the Americans.
Our metal stands, when they are wet, are extremely slippery. So if you are moving around the ballpark, please be extremely careful, especially.
Now Grant Bickham going to take a slow walk out to the mound and talk things over with Irwin's Branch in the pouring rain, as Skip Martinez is going to walk out of the dugout too to talk things over with the home plate umpire. Maybe mention something about this rain because it is still pouring and we're still playing baseball.
It's certainly pouring, but I wouldn't say it's like torrential. It hasn't really been unplayable yet. Obviously, a pretty big factor, but it's not. It's consistent, but it isn't super hard, I think is the difference you could say.
Yeah, we're in kind of a tiny circle of on the radar right now. Not much else around us being hit. Home plate
Hitting again
umpire
for the Americans, second baseman number 27.
looks down, make
leadoff
sure there's
hitter,
no
Justin
puddles, and
Gladfelter.
we'll keep playing baseball. Justin Gladfelter steps in, back to the top of the order. Gladfelter already his third at-bat tonight in 3 innings.
On track for 9 hits so far in this game.
Branch still working on the stretch. Now bases loaded. Fires a fastball called strike 1 against Gladfelter. Gladfelter started the bottom half of the first for the Americans, reaching on an E6, and then was hit by a fastball in his last at-bat against Landon Stoddard. Up and in. Really wore it on the left shoulder. Looks like he's all right, though. Staying in. Branch ahead 0-1 against Gladfelter. Here's the pitch to the Americans' second baseman. Outside for ball number 1.
Still no one warming in the pen for either team. Looking for Branch to at least get out of this inning.
So 5 hits in the game for the Americans, 4 for the Muckdogs. Here's the pitch from Branch. Misses outside for ball 2. The defense been a common struggle for both of these teams entering tonight. The Muckdogs now 7 games in a row with an error, as they have 2 tonight.
Branch has sort of been pitching high and inside the last couple of bats, but now those 2 balls low and outside, complete opposite side of the zone here to Gladfelter on the 2-1.
Branch working now. Here's the 2-1 to Gladfelter. Misses outside, 3-1.
Stoddard walked in a run earlier in this game. Branch trying not to follow suit.
Already 2 walks in the inning. Gladfelter looking to be that number 3 and bringing another run, as he's way ahead 3-1, or he could drive in a couple more. He had 3-1, a good hitter's count, but not many strikes thrown in the inning from Branch. Here's the 3-1. Fastball popped foul out of play, so it'll be a 3-2 pitch coming. Nobody warming in the Muckdogs bullpen. So Skip Martinez and Grant Bickham hoping Irwin's Branch can work his way out of the bases loaded jam. Be a 3-2 pitch coming from Branch to Gladfelter. Here it is. Misses upstairs, and it's an RBI walk worked by Justin Gladfelter. The Americans now lead 9-1.
Might want to start putting someone in the pen here. Branch, plenty of walks here in this bottom of the third.
Now batting center
Walks
fielder,
in a
number
run
1, Jackson
here.
Bauer.
Bring up Bauer.
And this is not the guy you want at the plate if you're a Muckdogs fan. Jackson Bauer been on a heater. His 4th game in a row starting. 4 RBIs 2 nights ago at Jamestown.
Gonna knock one in here. 0 for 1 so far. The
2
walk.
outs in the inning. First pitch, good block at home by Socorro for the first ball of the at-bat. Rain kind of coming to a stop.
Oh, no kidding.
It's only gonna be a little bit wet there. So a dive to stop that one. Plenty of wild pitches as well in this game. Branch will take off his hat, try and get the water out at the very least.
Branch already 4 walks in just an inning of work out of the bullpen. Bauer 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. He also had a walk last inning. Here's the pitch to Bauer. Misses upstairs, now 2-0. So 2 outs in the inning. First two runners or hitters actually got out, and the Americans building a rally here with 2 outs in the inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Jackson Bauer. Misses in the dirt. That one gets away from Socorro. Here comes Savino. He will score. And the Americans take a 10-1 lead.
Another wild pitch here. Certainly would have been a ball. Certainly is a ball. Still 3-0 count. We saw him dive to get that first ball for a wild pitch, but no chance there. That one bounces as well. Runners move over.
The Americans set up here. Second and third. 3-0 count to Jackson Bauer. Branch really struggling to find the zone, as now the Muckdogs will send somebody down to the bullpen.
Third straight inning for the Americans. The base is loaded again. If he gets to throw a strike, he'll do it again in this inning and bring up Ganschow.
Here's the 3-0 to Bauer. Misses, called strike. Looked like it was low out of the hand, but gets the low strike call.
Given that to the Muckdogs a couple times this game on that 3-0 count. So, you know, the umpire's a little weary. 4 pitch walks, try and give him at least one. If it's anywhere close. Still has to throw 2 good ones. Where? 3-1 to Bauer.
Here's the 3-1. Misses inside, and there's another walk issued by Irwin's Branch.
We talked about it. Branch didn't really have a lot of time coming into this game. Whoever is in the pen, a similar situation here. So you're bringing up Ganschow. Looking to hit one a mile here to extend this lead. The Americans now up 10-0. I mean 10-1, excuse me.
10-1, they lead. Gladfelter just walked. Now Bauer walked. That's 4 walks in a row issued by Irwin's Branch. Here's the first pitch to Ganschow, taken low and away for ball number 1.
Certainly a good pitch there. I mean, really struggled to throw strikes. Just misses there. Looking low and outside. Able to get that one. 1-0 count to Ganschow.
So now some action in the Muckdogs bullpen as the pitcher starting to stretch and get loose. No throwing yet, though. Be a 1-0 pitch to Ganschow. That one's taken for a strike. Branch finds the zone. Ganschow having himself a heck of a season at the plate. Leads this team in RBIs. Americans ahead 10-1. Here's the 1-1 to Ganschow. Outside corner, spotted up for strike number 2.
Yeah, he's found his spot in that outside corner. 1-2 count though. Still needs to find his strikeout pitch. It's certainly gonna be tough against the best hitters on this team and in the league as well.
Branch works from the stretch with the bases loaded. 1-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Ganschow. Fastball, that one misses low and away. Branch, one of those guys that really takes his time. Comes set, breathes a couple times, has a routine. As there's a left-hander getting loose in the bullpen for the Muckdogs. Looks like Carter Ward. Branch 2-2 coming to Ganschow. That one's hit up the middle. Backhand field. Not going to go to second. Goes across the diamond. Ganschow, tough play. No call, and now he's called safe. So it's an RBI infield single for Matthew Ganschow. And the Americans extend their lead to 10.
Just a completely wild series of events there. Hits off of Branch and bounces over to David. Looked like he was going to try and go for the out at second for the forced out against Bauer. Midway through, thinks, all right, Bauer's going to be safe here. Then throws back to first to Quintero, thinking he's going to be able to get Ganschow out. He's the bang play. It's now a 2-run single there for Ganschow through a wild series of events. The Americans now up 12-1.
Yeah, Gladfelter was able to score all the way from second there. Skip Martinez fired up at the call as the base umpire and the home plate umpire kind of looked at each other like Spider-Man, you know, like who's going to make the call. Nobody made the call right away. Ganschow clearly beat it out by a step. I fielded on the backhand, was going to flip to second. Bauer already there, then decides to go all the way to first. A long throw at that point. Ganschow had time running down the line. He beat it out by a step.
Yeah, I think he would have had a closer chance at Bauer. I mean, it was tough because it hit off of Branch to go to I. But still, Bauer pretty close to home, pretty close to second, but I think you just got to go to second. But they didn't. Americans capitalized once again.
So Jackson Bauer off second, Matt Ganschow off first after a 2-run infield single. Americans have 4 runs in the inning. They now lead 12-1 over the Muckdogs, who are in first place. That one misses in the turf for ball number 1.
Just looking back at the replay there, it was a good choice to go back to first. It's off the bag, and Bauer was in the second, but long throw, Ganshaw's speed able to get in safely as the Americans' inning continues.
Yeah, this would be a big win for the Americans if they're able to hold on. Obviously, still a lot of game left, but the Muckdogs lead PGCBL in almost every category in terms of offense, and then are up there near the top in terms of pitching categories as well. Pitch from Branch, called a strike against Colin Price. Colin Price's third at-bat of the game already. As we're in the bottom of the third, the Americans lead 12-1. Ganschow off first, Bauer off second. 1-1 pitch coming from Branch to Price. That one's popped up down the first base line, drifting out of play, and it lands in the bleachers.
Maybe a battle of the fans here to see which kid able to track that one down.
Talk about that infield single from Matt Ganschow. A heck of a play by Justin Gladfelter to be able to scamper all the way around from second. So now Bauer is off second. Ganschow off first. Price down 1-2. 2 outs in the inning. Price up on the plate. Here's the 1-2. Branch fouled on the first baseline once again. That one going to land out of play. Price still behind 1-2 against Branch. Branch last season for the Muckdogs, a 2.25 ERA, but only pitched 4 innings. Didn't pitch at all this past year at St. Xavier University in Chicago. Checks on Bauer at second, works from the stretch. Here's the 1-2. Fastball cut on and missed, and Irwin's Branch finally works his way out of the bottom half of the third, but in the inning, 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors and 2 men left on base. We played 3 complete innings, and the Americans lead 12-1 here at Sal Magley Stadium, where you're watching PGCBL baseball on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Greater Together Credit Union. Greater Together Credit Union provides personalized banking, loans, mortgages, and savings accounts for anyone living, working, or attending school in Erie or Niagara counties. For more information, current rates, or to apply for membership, visit greatertogethercu.com. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Bully Hill Vineyards for their support all season long. On the south end of gorgeous Keuka Lake, you can taste over 40 wines and enjoy food at a family-friendly winery open 7 days a week. Visit bullyhillvineyards.com to learn more about what they have to offer. A special thank you to Tropical Heating and Cooling for sponsoring the Americans this season. Locally owned and operated, Tropical Heating and Cooling provides expert installation, repair, and maintenance for home heating, cooling, and air quality systems. Call 716-870-0753 or head to tropicalheating.net to submit a service request and knock your heating and cooling needs out of the park. The Americans would like to thank Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric for their continuous support. Salino Plumbing's licensed Buffalo professionals strive for same-day service with fully stocked vehicles to reduce wait times. Whether it's emergency plumbing, mainline repairs, or anything in between, call 716-202-9665 for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical needs today. The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Greater Together Credit Union. Greater Together Credit Union provides personalized banking, loans, mortgages, and savings accounts for anyone living, working, or attending school in Erie or Niagara counties. For more information, current rates, or to apply for membership, visit greatertogethercu.com. TealCPetFood.com.
Back here at Sal Magley Stadium, the Americans ahead of the Muckdogs 13-1. We had a scoring correction. 1 run forgot about, so now they lead 13-1. After pouring it on, 9 runs in the second, 4 in the third. Aiden Moreau's back out there after having to sit on the bench, watch his offense put up 4 more runs. That one's hit up the middle, and Joey Socorro reaches with a leadoff base hit here for the Muckdogs.
Socorro had a long outing in this game behind the dish. A couple wild pitches.
Yeah, you can't really blame Socorro for his work behind the plate. I mean, a lot of spiked pitches by this Muckdogs pitching staff. A lot of pitches not even close to the plate, so the wild pitch is definitely not something he should fault himself for. That one's taken on the outside corner for ball number 1 to Jeremy Ramos. 1-0 pitch from Rose. Outside corner just misses. Now 2-0 coming.
Yeah, let's look back to that outside corner here against Ramos. Hasn't been able to get the call.
So Moreau's behind 2-0, looking for a ground ball here with nobody out in the inning. There goes Socorro. Good pitch to run on as that one's in the dirt, bypassed. Who's got to chase after it. Socorro, the catcher, not much of a base stealer, decided to take off on the play, but saw it in the dirt, and that one got away from past.
Just able to get into second safely. I don't think he knew where that ball went immediately. Might have tried for third. Someone play early in this game with Savino, but still in scoring position.
That one misses inside. Now it gets the corner. Never mind. So the strike. Count is 3-1. Moreau's working from the stretch. Socorro off second. The Americans lead the Muckdogs 13-1. That one misses low and away for ball 4. Now the Muckdogs have the first 2 runners reach here in the top half of the 4th.
Now we need to get 9 runs.
Here's Jacob Vesco.
Now batting the DH number 99, Jacob Vesco.
So Socorro off second. Led off the inning with a base hit up the middle, and now Ramos off of first, who just walked. We mentioned Moreau's threw 60 pitches just 2 days ago against the Ironbacks. He's back on the bump. Gets a fastball by Jacob Vesco at the top of the zone for strike number 1. Vesco plays his collegiate ball at Iona University, a Division I school in New Rochelle, New York. Actually played 3 seasons at the University of Dayton in the Atlantic 10 before transferring to Iona as he swings and misses there for strike number 2. Hasn't seen a ton of run this season for the Muckdogs. Just 5 games started out of 7 games played, but coming off the bench a couple times. Now finds himself in a hole down 0-2 against Aiden Moreau's. Here's the pitch from Rose. Popped up, out of play, foul. We'll do it again, 0-2. Rain has come to a stop here in Niagara Falls in a matchup of the Can USA owned teams, the Americans and the Muckdogs. Rose ahead 0-2, looking for a strikeout here with nobody out in the inning. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses low and away, now 1-2. You wonder really how many innings they're going to get out of Rose today.
Still no one warming in the pen.
Be a 1-2 pitch from Rose. See what kind of looks Rose can get after this summer now, looking for a new school after Anna Maria closed down. And he misses in the dirt there. Now 2-2. Exactly why players like that play in a league like this, to get a new opportunity at the collegiate level. Couple players in the transfer portal on the Americans. One of those, Angel Nova Lopez, actually just committed to a new school for next season in Savannah State, a Division II school in Georgia. Congratulations to Nova Lopez. Here's the 2-2. Misses upstairs. Now 3-2 from Rose to Vezko. Vezko, the first player we've seen, to my knowledge, wearing number 99. Maybe taken after Aaron Judge or Wayne Gretzky. Here's the 3-2. Coming to Vezko. Misses low and away. There's ball 4. So that'll load the bases. It's a walk fest tonight here at Sal Maglie Stadium. Now back-to-back walks issued by Aiden Rose.
Stepping in shortstop number 8, Miles Monell.
That's his 4th of the game. Six for the Muckdogs. So 10 walks already in the game between the two teams, and we've only played 3 innings. Rose now will work from the windup with the bases loaded. The Americans play with the infield back. That one's chopped foul off of Monell in the box.
Obviously an 12-run lead for the Americans, but look to at least get a couple ground outs here. Obviously, bases loaded. Batavia probably can get one back, but Rose can look for a couple ground balls, a couple strikeouts. Might need to have some assists from his outfield as well.
Monell struggling as of late, just 3 for his last 13. Actually a 400 hitter on the road as opposed to a 200 hitter at home. Flies that one into center field. And it's hauled in by Jackson Bauer. Socorro going to tag from home. And there's a sac fly by Miles Monell for the first run of the inning for the Muckdogs.
First run in a while for the Muckdogs after having that one in the first.
So here's Braden I. Plays second base tonight. I coming to Batavia from Westminster College in Missouri. I, a native of Baldwin, Missouri. It's a long way from Batavia. Had a great year this past year at Westminster. Led the conference in doubles and broke the program record at Westminster in doubles with 20 in the season. That was 11th in all of Division III. Here's the pitch from Rose. Cut on and missed for strike number 1. Count is 1-1. Here to Braden I. Rose now working from the stretch with first and second. Once again, as Socorro came around to score on the sacrifice fly, but Ramos had to stay put. He did not tag from second to third. That one misses inside, almost hits I.
Right there for Pats. 1 not having a hit him, 2 not having a get away.
I was ranked as the number 6 hitter in all of Division III at one point during the regular season, and this past year he went 10 for 16 on a 3-game stretch. That one's hit into right center. It'll fall for a base hit. Ramos had to make sure it fell, and he's going to score on the play. I's going to stop at first with a 1-out base hit that scores Ramos. Now the score 13-3.
Just able to line that one into the gap. Played well by Bauer and Price to leave it to a single, but another run does score from second. That's Ramos.
Here's Glenn Brooks back to the top of the order.
Now batting number 20, Glenn Brooks.
Brooks 0 for 2 today, a rare 0 for 2. Here's the pitch, misses upstairs. One out in the inning. 2-1 is the count. Or 1-0, excuse me. Pitch misses inside. Now 2-0.
Fans, I'm sorry about the scoreboard. We're having a little technical difficulty. We'll get it straightened out as soon as possible.
Brooks been one of the best hitters, if not the best, this year for the Muckdogs. He went 0 for 6 to start the year, but since then been on a 10-game hit streak, also 15 steals as Murrows misses upstairs. Now 3-0 down to Brooks.
See someone warming in the pen here for the Americans. As Moreau's one ball away from the bases loaded with one out.
Yeah, we've said it kind of all game. Is not really sure how much he's going to be able to go in terms of length, and he lands that one in for a strike. You wonder really why they opted to Murrows to start this game when just pitched 2 days ago and just started 2 days ago. But they like what they saw, and they're running him back out there. That one lands on the outside corner for strike number 2. Brooks thought it was a ball, almost tossed his bat away. So that'll be a full count pitch coming to Glenn Brooks, and a big one, as Aiden Rose is one pitch away from getting out of this. Just needs a ground ball to do it. Vesco off first. That one's hit in the right field. It'll get through for a base hit. One run is in. Brooks going to round first. He's headed for second. Weiss's throw behind the runner. And he is out. A good throw by Adam Weiss. A risky base running play by Glenn Brooks to try to take the extra base. He can't do it. But a run scores on the play. So now it's 13-3. The Americans lead the Muckdogs.
Doesn't the run score first so he gets in safe? So wouldn't it be 13-4?
It's 13-4.
How do I score this?
So 13-4 is your score.
How many outs?
2 outs in the inning. As Glenn Brooks was thrown out trying to stretch that one into a double. Now Coach Brick going to walk to the mound, talk things over, give Aiden Rose a breather on the mound as he tries to get out of his 4th inning. With 2 outs now. So Vesco scored on the play, and Braden Nye moved from second to third. So he's at third with 2 outs, and in steps Jalen David for his 3rd at-bat of the game. He's 1 for 2 today, singled back in the 1st and struck out last inning swinging against Murrows. Dangerous Jackson Inman looming on deck. David takes that one on the inside corner for ball number 1. Rose behind 1-0. Takes a deep breath, delivers. Hit down the 3rd baseline, but going to kick foul. Now 1-1. So 13-4 is your score after the run scored on that play. Glenn Brooks thrown out at second by Adam Weiss, trying to stretch his single into a double. Rose, 1-1 count. Here's the pitch to Jalen David. Misses upstairs. Now 2-1 coming. Rose 4 earned runs on the day. But you got to be happy with that against a strong Muckdogs offense. Here's the pitch. Hit down the 3rd baseline again, but foul. David a little bit out in front of these two. He's hit down the line. So it'll be a 2-2 pitch coming.
Okay, do I have the score right? 13-5?
12 hits today for the Americans, 4 for the Muckdogs. Here's the pitch. Outside, just misses. Rose didn't like that call. Now 3-2 coming.
Yeah, 3 runs in this inning from Rose. Looking to get it here.
Here's the 3-2. That one's popped into shallow right field. Gladfelter out from second. Price coming in from right, and he makes the play to end the inning. But not before a big inning for the Muckdogs. They put up 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors in the inning, and 1 man left on base. So we've played 3.5 innings here at Sal Magley Stadium, and in an absolute barn burner, the Americans lead the Muckdogs 13-4. You're watching PGCBL Baseball on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the ongoing support of Blaze Brockway Contracting. Family owned and operated for over 15 years, Blaze Brockway Contracting specializes in all aspects of remodeling and renovation. Call 607-259-7607 for all of your construction and home improvement needs. The Americans would like to thank Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric for their continuous support. Salino Plumbing's licensed Buffalo professionals strive for same-day service with fully stocked vehicles to reduce wait times. Whether it's emergency plumbing, mainline repairs, or anything in between, call 716-202-9665 for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical needs today. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Coca-Cola for their support this season. Known for its refreshing bubbles and iconic flavor, Coca-Cola is the world's best-selling carbonated soft drink. Snag a Coke right here at the Sal Magley Stadium concession stand and make your game day even sweeter. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Bully Hill Vineyards for their support all season long. On the south end of gorgeous Keuka Lake, you can taste over 40 wines and enjoy food at a family-friendly winery open 7 days a week. Visit bullyhillvineyards.com to learn more about what they have to offer. A special thank you to Tropical Heating and Cooling for sponsoring the Americans this season. Locally owned and operated, Tropical Heating and Cooling provides expert installation, repair, and maintenance for home heating, cooling, and air quality systems. Call 716-870-0753 or head to tropicalheating.net to submit a service request and knock your heating and cooling needs out of the park.
Back here at Sal Magley Stadium, a new arm on the bump for the Muckdogs. It's Carter Ward.
Left-handed pitcher, number 5, Carter Ward. And leading off for the Americans, the X-Man, left fielder number 5, Xander Clark.
So Xander Clark will lead things off for the Americans. A tough matchup for him, batting from the left side against the lefty Carter Fridge Ward. Number 5 against number 5. Clark, a native of Chicago, Illinois, played in the Northern League last summer. Batted .308 and earned second team All Northern League honors.
He was wrong. I read 9.
So Xander Clark now into the box. Ward comes set from the left side, deals to Clark, cut on and miss for strike 1. Ward fired up on the mound, gets right back on the bump, ready to throw. Here's the 0-1, cut on and missed for strike 2.
Ethan, did Colin Price score twice in the second? That's what it is.
Clark behind 0-2 here against Ward. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Blocked at home by Socorro. He'll pick it up, fire down to first, and get the first out of the inning. Xander Clark is retired.
Now batting first baseman number 6, Cooper Rowell, third base.
In steps Cooper Rowell. Going to play at Palm Beach Atlantic this year for collegiate ball. Rowell fouls that one down the first baseline to start his at-bat. Rowell quickly down 0-1. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did not. So now it'll be a 1-1 coming to Rowell. Rowell takes that one in the dirt for ball 2. There's a strike. Now 2-2 is the pitch. Here's the 2-2. Chop to third, foul. 1 out in the inning. Ward working quickly. One of those guys that's jittery on the mound. Fired up to throw a pitch every second. It'll be a 2-2 coming from Ward to Rowell. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, called a strike. Ward fired up, clapping his glove, jogging around the mound. Now 2 outs quickly in the inning on 2 strikeouts looking.
And 2 big outs here after the 9-run inning and the 4-run inning. For something easier here.
2 outs in the inning. Carter Ward quickly 2 strikeouts. Here's Adam Weiss. Lined out to center his last time up. Really had a good swing on it, but right at Glenn Brooks in center. It'll be a 1-0 pitch coming to Weiss. Weiss, a native of Saratoga Springs. Here's the pitch. That one's hit to center. Back goes Brooks, and he makes a nice running catch as Weiss is retired after another hard hit ball. So we've played 4 complete innings. In that inning, no runs on, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. The Muckdogs still trail the Americans 13-4. You're watching PGCBL Baseball on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Stalka Agency. Serving Western New York since 1957, Stalka Agency makes insurance simple through proactive planning and straightforward conversations. Call the local Stalka insurance team at 716-634-7070 to get a tailored insurance quote that's as precise as a pitcher painting the outside corner. A special thank you to Tropical Heating and Cooling for sponsoring the Americans this season. Locally owned and operated, Tropical Heating and Cooling provides expert installation, repair, and maintenance for home heating, cooling, and air quality systems. Call 716-870-0753 or head to tropicalheating.net to submit a service request and knock your heating and cooling needs out of the park. The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Greater Together Credit Union. Greater Together Credit Union provides personalized banking, loans, mortgages, and savings accounts for anyone living, working, or attending school in Erie or Niagara counties. For more information, current rates, or to apply for membership, visit greatertogethercu.com. A special thank you to Tropical Heating and Cooling for sponsoring the Americans this season. Locally owned and operated, Tropical Heating and Cooling provides expert installation, repair, and maintenance for home heating, cooling, and air quality systems. Call 716-870-0753 or head to tropicalheating.net to submit a service request and knock your heating and cooling needs out of the park. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank McDonald's for being a sponsor of the team this year. With an extensive menu of well-known favorites, McDonald's is famous for its convenience. Especially during a long baseball season, McDonald's is the perfect place to grab a quick bite to eat and get right back to the ballpark. So head to your nearest McDonald's and enjoy all the classics.
So Aiden Rose back out for his 5th inning of work. And he'll face Jackson Inman, who takes ball number 1 on the outside corner. That one just misses. An arm warming for the Americans in the bullpen. We'll let you know as soon as we find out who it is. Rose working from the windup. Rowell over at third. Shaded to the right. The outfield shaded as well onto the pole side. Jackson Bauer shaded towards right center. Colin Price deep and right. Now Moroz quickly in a 3-0 hole against Inman. Inman today 1 for 1. Had a base hit last inning and walked in the first. That one misses outside, so a leadoff walk worked by Jackson Inman on 4 pitches. And the Muckdogs dugout's sure fired up. Everyone still in this ball game. They're down 9 runs. Got to give it to them, though. Their energy is still there.
For the Muckdogs, the extra hitter, number 11, Evan Brock.
Here's Evan Brock. Comes to the Muckdogs from SUNY Brockport. Brock and Brockport. Not sure if he picked that because of the name of the college or what. Maybe just like the school. As he takes outside for ball number 1. It's Jackson Lerner out there warming for the Americans. Right-handed side armor. Here's the pitch. Chopped up the middle. A tailor-made double play. Gladfelter steps on second. Throw to first. Good pick by Weiss. A 4-3 unassisted. And quickly 2 outs in the inning for the Americans.
Gladfelter did that tough play early in this game. Similar play where he had to go to his side, tried to flip it to Savino. This time, no Savino needed. Goes to second and crossbody able to get the throw at it first. Great pick by Weiss. Plenty of those so far this year. After that 4-pitch walk to lead it off, 2 quick outs there for the Americans, though, double play.
Yeah, Gladfelter did the right thing, kind of throwing it on a long hop, giving Weiss a chance to pick it. An easy pick at first. Not an easy play, but one of the easier picks if you have them at first because of that long hop, especially since the turf is still wet from the rain. Be big if the Americans could get 5 innings out of Aiden Moroz, and it looks like they're going to as Gladfelter feels that one, flips to first, and Moroz is fired up as he completes 5 innings. No runs on no hits in that inning, no errors, no men left on base. Aiden Moroz threw 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, but the Americans lead 13-4 here at Sal Magley Stadium. And you're watching PGCBL Baseball on the American Sports Network.
The Niagara Falls Americans appreciate the support of Greater Together Credit Union. Greater Together Credit Union provides personalized banking, loans, mortgages, and savings accounts for anyone living, working, or attending school in Erie or Niagara counties. For more information, current rates, or to apply for membership, visit greatertogethercu.com.
The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Geico, the 3rd largest auto insurance company in the United States, for its continued support. However you define Western New York, one thing is certain. Drivers encounter a wide variety of road conditions, whether it's slick, snowy roads, congestion on the New York State Thruway, or deer on scenic back roads. You want to make sure you have the right car insurance to ensure the safety of yourself, your passengers, and your vehicle. Head to geico.com to get a fast and free insurance quote to find the coverage that best fits your need. So we're in the bottom of the 5th. The Americans lead the Muckdogs 13-4. The Muckdogs on an 8-game winning streak. Currently 3-0 on the year against the Americans, and the script has definitely been flipped tonight. The Muckdogs down 13-4.
Had that 3 runs in that 4th inning, but a couple great plays from Gladfelter. 2 big putouts. Keeps it 15-4 game. Americans are going to push that lead back up to 10 here. Bridge in the second inning of work.
Hey, you wonder if the Americans will run things back with Moroz in the 6th.
Leading off for Niagara Falls, the catcher.
But we'll find out. We're in the bottom of the 5th, so we'll see.
Qualified for the win, though, went 5 innings. Parents have really, but it's been a while for the Americans to have a win come from their starter, assuming a 10-run comeback from the Muckdogs. They really had a lot of players get that win in relief, whether it's Anschow, whether it's Stickler. Looks like Moreau's going to get his 2nd win of the year here. This time it's 9 against Niagara.
Still a lot of time left. I mean, we're only in the bottom of the 5th. Americans do have a 9-run lead. They're facing off against a tough arm in Carter Ward and an even tougher bullpen for the Muckdogs, who held the Americans to 8 scoreless. Ward on the season's 1-0, 2 appearances, a 4.5 ERA. Deals that one on the outside corner for a strike. I don't know if Ward drank a couple coffees or a couple scoops of pre-workout before he went out there, but he is wild on the mound right now. Here's the 0-2. Check swing from Pats. He did not go. So Nick passed. Now behind 1-2. See a lot of college relievers like Ward on the mound. A lot of energy. Fired up to be out there for their team. Nothing wrong with that. Here's the 1-2 to Nick Past. Taken outside. Now 2-2. Past 2 for 2 today. A homer and a single. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch to Past. Takes that one for strike 3, and Past knew it as he's retired for the first out of the inning.
They got from Past had a great game so far. The rain comes back to start
Now
falling.
batting from right here in Niagara Falls, shortstop number 22,
Go away and come again another day, but it's back.
Yeah, just starting to sprinkle a little bit. Hopefully won't last too long. Savino digs in. First pitch to Savino, taken upstairs for ball number 1. 65 degrees here in Niagara Falls. Cooler Saturday evening. Here's the pitch to Savino, taken outside for ball 2. Savino quickly ahead 2-0. Infield playing normal depth except for Quintero, who's off of first, playing over in the hole. So that right field line open if Savino were to poke something down there. Here's the 2-0. Savino aiming for that first base line, but misses foul.
Ward had his first win on the year, as we mentioned. He's 1-0 against the Americans on the 15th. This is the third game the Americans played in a week against the Muckdogs.
That one's taken for strike number 2. Count is even at 2 now.
That game went 2 innings, big strikeout. Runs.
Ward working from the stretch out of the bullpen. Here's the 2-2 to Savino. Taken down the middle. Drop by Socorro. He'll have to retire Savino on the throwdown, and he does. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for Carter Ward, who walks quickly back to the mound, ready to deal another pitch. But this time it'll be to Evan Shank.
Evan Shank.
Shank stepping in against Carter Ward. Ward already 4 strikeouts in the outing. He's doing a heck of a job so far out of the Muckdogs bullpen. Here's the pitch taken upstairs for ball number 1. Fell behind a Savino to start the count, but worked it all the way back to strike him out.
Yeah, he's pitched well so far in this game. Still has obviously 1 2/3 already. He's given up a hit and it's 4 strikeouts, more than the last 2 players.
Swing and a miss by Shank. So Shank now 1-1 against Ward. Here's the 1-1. Inside, good block from Socorro behind the plate. He'll get a new baseball. Rain still falling slightly, sprinkling. Very familiar opponents this week for the Americans. Started off the week 2 straight against the Ironbacks after losing on Monday night to the Muckdogs. And then Muckdogs last night, Muckdogs tonight. So 3 against the Muckdogs, 2 against the Ironbacks. And they'll finish the week tomorrow, or technically start a new week, against the Newark Pilots. Here's the 3-1 to Evan Shank, taken down the middle for strike 2. Shank wishes he had that one back. Good pitch by Carter Ward. Now 3-2.
Going to strike out to the side here. Another scoreless frame for the Americans.
3-2. Taken on the inside corner. Ward started walking to the dugout. Thought it was strike 3, but Shank works a 2-out walk.
Now stepping in for the Americans, the second baseman, number 27, Justin Gladfelter.
So back to the top of the order in Justin Gladfelter. Here's the pitch. Misses inside. Good pick back there by Joey Socorro. Now 1-0. Gladfelter ahead. Gladfelter in the transfer portal. Played this past year at Cunata College. Looking for a new opportunity, though, this year. He steps in ahead 1-0. Here's the pitch. Hit up the middle. Diving stop by Monell. He'll flip to second. A nice play by Miles Monell to retire Justin Gladfelter on the 6-4 putout.
Yeah, it was slide. It made it look like easy. It looked like a slide from Trey Turner. Able to get up easily, get the flip there for a big third out.
Hey fans, it's time for a Niagara Falls Americans tradition. It's time for the kids run. Now kids, our own Dom Dingle is
So we've played 5 complete innings. The Americans still lead the Muckdogs 13-4 in the inning. No runs on, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base as we have the kids run, a good tradition here at Sal Magley Stadium. Our box office manager, Dominic Dingle, is undefeated, and it looks like it's going to stay that way as he finishes in first.
Dom's win streak extends.
So Dominic Dingle is undefeated in the kids run so far here at the barbershop.
Sammy's Pizza has been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and are the originators of the 1.5 tray of pizza. Don't forget to make the short walk across the street from Sal Magley Stadium and stop by Sammy's Pizza. The Niagara Falls Americans would like to thank Bully Hill Vineyards for sponsoring the Americans this season. Bully Hill Vineyards is a fun, family-friendly winery on Keuka Lake, known for great wine, casual dining, and unforgettable events. It's located in Hammondsport, New York, in the heart of the Finger Lakes, on the south end of beautiful Keuka Lake. Overlooking the lake, you can taste over 40 wines at their tasting bar with energetic and knowledgeable staff. If you're looking for a fun winery with great wine and food, this is it. Everyone is welcome to enjoy the winery and restaurant for groups of 10 or more. Please call in advance to make a reservation at 607-868-3610. That's 607-868-3610. So we're back here in the top of the 6th. Aiden Rose back out there for his 6th inning of work. Really have to applaud Aiden Rose for all he's done today. After just throwing 2 days ago, Jackson Lerner out there in the bullpen still warming up. Here's the pitch by Moroz. Cut on and missed by Joey Socorro. Count is now 1-1. Moroz, that one start against the Ironbacks was his only start on the year. Here's the pitch. Check swing by Socorro. Did he go? Looks like he did, so now going to be a 1-2. Here's the pitch from Rose. Misses outside. Socorro, base hit up the middle his last time up. Here's the 2-2 from Rose. Misses upstairs. Socorro works it full. Rose working from the windup. Here's the 3-2. Hit down the third baseline. Foul. Rose a good piece, or excuse me, Socorro a good piece on that one, but way out in front of the changeup. Pitch from Rose. Slider, strike 3. How about Aiden Rose with a strikeout to lead off the top of the 6th against Joey Socorro. Now 1 out in the inning.
Now batting for the Muckdogs, left fielder number 31, Jeremy Ramos.
It's a big strikeout from Aiden Rose. Misses outside. And in steps Jeremy Ramos. He's 1 for 1. Cut on and missed there. Now 1-1 in the at-bat. Rain's starting to fall a little bit heavier now. Ramos takes ball 2. Now 2-1. 1 out in the inning. Rose been good at the plate today, but struggled out there in left. Fell in the outfield as he pops that one up down the third baseline. Will it stay in play? It will. Nick passes under it, and he just drops it in and out of his glove. Looked like he tried to squeeze it with the catcher's glove, but couldn't fully hold on. Now 2-2.
Very un-Nick Pats-like. Really hasn't made any errors there. My voice cracks badly.
Here's the pitch to Moroz. From Moroz, I should say. That one fouled straight back. So 2-2. We'll do it again. Ramos batting from the left side. Here's the 2-2. Cut on and missed. Strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aiden Moroz.
Rose won't mind there, maybe an extra pitch, but hey, you got another strikeout.
Now batting the DH number 99, Jacob Vesco.
Here's Jacob Vesco. Bats from the right side. He's 0 for 1 today. Flew out to left back in the second inning. Walked in the fourth. We are now in the top of the sixth. The Americans lead 13-4. That one's popped up into shallow left. Coming on is Xander Clark. He's got it for the third out of the inning. Another scoreless frame worked by Aiden Moroz. So we've played 6.5 innings, and the Americans lead 13-4 over the Muckdogs. How about this outing from Aiden Moroz?
Yeah, certainly one of the best innings one of the best outings we've seen all year. As I'll read his line. Went 6 innings. Refresh it here just to fully have it. 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, 4 runs on 7 hits, 5 walks, Tom. 5 walks, Tom, but he's able to get out. He's been able to get out of it pretty well.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at how Aiden Moroz has kind of battled through the game, right? He's seen everything so far today from this Muckdogs offense, and when you look at the season the Muckdogs have had on the offensive end, it's just been absolutely incredible. They're batting .307 as a team, which is second in the West Division, behind the Auburn Doubledays. Also slugging the best in the West Division. They slug at a .437 clip, also get on base at a .443 clip. And they score over 9 runs a game. So 4 tonight. They're just under halfway there. But Aiden Moroz, you got to applaud him for how well he's been doing on the mound.
And we are reminded, as always, that we are the home of the free because of the brave.
So Carter Ward back out there on the mound for the Muckdogs. Here in the bottom of the 6th. We played 5.5 innings. Here at Sal Magley Stadium.
Ward, the main reason that the score has honestly stayed the same at 13-4. It's just pitched super well.
Yeah, back-to-back zeros worked by Carter Ward. Coca-Cola is a proud supporter of the Niagara Falls Americans. A sweet, slightly acidic blend featuring distinct caramel and vanilla notes cut by a crisp, bubbly carbonation. Coca-Cola is the world's best-selling carbonated soft drink. Coca-Cola products are available in over 200 countries and territories worldwide, and you can find it at the concession stand right here at Sal Magley Stadium. Celebrate every big play with the crisp, classic taste of Coca-Cola.
Couldn't agree more, Tom. That caramel and that vanilla taste, that's what I think of when I drink Coca-Cola. So slightly acidic, that's what I think.
The world's best-selling carbonated soft drink. A proud sponsor of the Niagara Falls Americans. As we're back here in the bottom of the 6th. Jackson Bauer going to lead things off for the Americans.
Obviously, the Americans up 13-4. It's great, but you do want that mercy win against this team who's mercied you before. Just like a run, in the bottom of the 6th or 7th to try and hold them off in the top. We get some more rain coming back again.
So Bauer steps in against Carter Ward. First pitch taken inside for ball number 1 upstairs. Yeah, it would be quite something if the Americans could push one across here. Then if you send Aiden Moroz back out there, he could be in line for the complete game. Now, there's a lot of ifs there, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Here's a pitch from Bauer. He laces that one into left center. It's going to fall for a base hit. Cut off in left by Ramos. That'll keep Bauer at first. But a hard hit single by Jackson Bauer to lead off the bottom of the 6th.
Stuff here from Bauer. It's his second hit, his first hit of this game, excuse me. And good start here. If you're looking at 1 run, lead off single, never hurt anybody, unless you're a Batavia fan.
I don't know if Will Cordero's talked to Jackson Bauer or what, but he has been absolutely amazing for this Americans team as of late. 2 walks today, now a single. He's 1 for 2, but now played 4 games in a row, had 4 RBIs at Jamestown 2 nights ago, then 2 RBIs the night before that. None last night in Batavia, but still, I mean, just the way Jackson Bauer's been playing as of late, he's really earned a spot in this everyday lineup. Off of first, pitch from Ward, chopped to second, fielded by Eye. He'll flip to second for 1. That's all they'll get. Ganchow beats it out. Monell doesn't even try to throw. So Ganchow reaches on the 4-6 fielder's choice.
Bauer made it a little bit tougher, sort of sliding into that eye there of Monell. Obviously, can't really do that, but any baseball player knows you'll try and make it harder for the shortstop to make the double play.
So Ganchow reaches. Now here's Colin Price. Colin Price, 1 for 2 today. Takes that one inside for ball 1. Price on the season had 3 appearances on the mound. 1 game started, 8 innings pitched, a 5.63 ERA. And then batting .286 at the plate as well. A real dual threat. Price quickly ahead, 2-0 here. Matthew Ganchow off first. Not much of a lead against the left-hander in Ward. Muckdogs playing for the double play up the middle. Price takes that one low and in. Now 3-0. Something Ward has done extremely well is throw strikes. Now quickly behind 3-0 against Colin Price. 1 out in the inning. Here's the pitch to Price. Fastball low and away, called strike. Price clearly upset with the call as he steps out of the batter's box, rethinks things, looks at the barrel. Looks like now he's going to step back in. Like I mentioned, Monell and I up the middle playing for that double play. Here's the 3-1 to Price, taken inside for ball 4. So the Americans now at first and second with 1 out for Xander Clark. Will Cordero looking at Xander Clark a couple times, see if they want to send up a pinch hitter and not have Xander Clark have the lefty-lefty. Looks like they will send up a pinch hitter out of the dugout. Xander Clark walking back to the dugout. See who that pinch hitter is. Cooper Rowell out on the turf. He's going to bat next. It'll probably be a right-hander, obviously, because he will come out. It's going to be Ryotaro Munakata coming in as the pinch hitter.
Check that pinch hitting for the Americans from Geneseo Community College, number 33, Ryotaro Munakata.
So here's Munakata coming on off of the bench. One of the toughest things to do as a player in any sporting event is to come off the bench and get in at bat, especially a big one like this. First and second, 1 out. The Americans one run away from earning the mercy rule and crossing to 10 runs. Munakata will step in against Ward. Here's the 0-0. Munakata swings at the first pitch, chops it to Ward, who fields and will flip to first and make the out. Munakata is retired and moves the runners up, though, 90 feet.
Now stepping in, third baseman, number 6, Cooper Rowell.
Here's Cooper Rowell, now second and third. Munakata pinch hit for Clark, so we'll see I would imagine Dom Zangardi will go out in left field in Munakata's spot. Munakata is a util guy, but we know how much the Americans like Zangardi in the outfield as that defensive replacement. As now Rowell takes ball number 1 in the dirt. So he's ahead 1-0 here against Ward. Ball in the dirt. Actually, really good block by Joey Socorro to save a run and Matt Ganschow from scoring at third. Ward deals the 1-0 to Rowell in the dirt again. Another good block by Socorro. You know, we've kind of talked about it all night. Socorro done a really good job back there, stopping a lot of baseballs in a wet, rainy game. So 2-0 coming to Cooper Rowell. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. Interesting move to go to Ryotaro Munakata off the bench after Xander Clark's been in this game the whole time. But it was a lefty-lefty matchup. Opted for the righty in Munakata, who swung at the first pitch as well. Rowell goes on that curveball in the dirt. So now 2-2. Socorro once again stopping a pitch in the dirt, doing a really nice job back there. It'll be a 2-2 pitch coming. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Americans have not scored since the 4-run third inning. Rowell digs in. 2-2 pitch coming from Carter Ward. Colin Price off second, Ganschow off third. Here's the pitch. Taken in the dirt. Gets away from Socorro. And he's hurt back there. Ganschow will score. Carter Ward has to run it down. Socorro still down at home. Looks like that one hurt. But Ganschow scores to make it a 10-run ball game.
Yeah, Socorro's had a super tough day. He's had to save a lot of pitches. You don't know where that one caught. Maybe below the belt there. But nonetheless, run does score for the Americans. But it's a huge injury here for Socorro as the trainer will come out.
Yeah, trainer going to come out to check on Socorro. As a catcher, definitely known to wear a lot of injuries with having to stop so many balls, whether it's a wild pitch or some sort of misthrown pitch. Anything can happen if you're a catcher. I mean, definitely one of the most taxing positions in all of sports. Catcher right up there with the offensive line, defensive line in football.
Number 34, Joey Socorro.
Defenseman in hockey. A lot of those really tough positions. Catcher is one of those at the top. Looks like Joey Socorro going to stay in this one, put the pitch comm earpiece back in his right ear and stay in the game. As now it'll be a 3-2 pitch coming to Cooper Rowell. But nonetheless, Matt Ganschow scoring on the play. The Americans now lead by 10. And if Aiden Moroz runs back out there, he could be in line for the complete game.
Big pitch here, though. Obviously, having Price at third and a full count here. We're going to have to get wherewithals back in him. Full count.
Ward's pitch outside, misses for ball 4. Back-to-back walks worked by the Americans, and Cooper Rowell reaches.
We talked about it, Tom. Obviously, sort of a different situation where you want some run support. Other games, run support to get the win. Here's run support to get the mercy. Having first and third here as you bring up Weiss. Look for at least another run if it's Moroz or whoever's been warming in the pen. Hey, if you give up one run, you can still get the mercy rule here as Weiss looking to have another RBI.
Ward deals the first pitch to Weiss, misses inside, almost hits him for ball number 1. Weiss had 2 really good at-bats these past 2 plate appearances, 2 lineouts to center that he's really hit well. You got a feel for the guys. He's hit 2 balls kind of right at Glenn Brooks in center field, who's been covering a lot of ground out there. A couple really good center fielders in this West Division in the PGCBL. We've seen Glenn Brooks. We've seen Grant Moore on Jamestown. Even, obviously, Derek Gismondi played a really good center field for the Americans, missing these last couple because of an injury. Ward stares in from the sign. Weiss ahead 2-0, looking to swing here in a good hitter's count. Rowell off first, Price off third. And Weiss swings and misses at that pitch, but it gets by Socorro. Rowell going to round second. He's headed for third. He moves up 2 bases on the play, and Colin Price scores. So now the Americans lead 15-4 here at Sal Magley Stadium.
It was an interesting play because it was an inside pitch that Weiss swung on. And I think Socorro initially thought it fouled off him for the ball to get away, but instead it's a wild pitch there. And now he's ejected. Someone just came out here. Umpire immediately threw him out.
Yeah, the Muckdogs pitching or coaching staff has been all over the home plate umpire tonight. Looks like Grant Bickham tossed from the game. Bickham will be ejected, fighting for his pitching staff, the pitching coach of the Muckdogs. Maybe thinking Weiss fouled that one off, but clearly looked like he kind of swung and missed. So 2-1 pitch coming to Adam Weiss, 2 outs in the inning.
They moved Rowell back to second.
Yeah, Rowell moved back to second on the play. As the ball did, I think, go out of play. So you only get 1 base on something like that, where the ball goes out of play.
Nearly moved to third there on that one, as Socorro had to go all the way out for another wild pitch.
Yeah, Socorro in full hockey goalie mode at the moment. 7 hits for both teams, 16 runs, though, for the Americans, 4 for the Muckdogs. Here's the pitch. Weiss checks his swing. Home plate umpire says, yes, he did. Now 3-2 coming to Adam Weiss. Weiss 0 for 2 today, but did walk, so that extends his on-base streak now to 9. Weiss in the box. 3-2 pitch coming from Carter Ward. 2 outs. Rowell off second. Here's the pitch to Weiss. Popped up into center. Brooks ranging over to his left. And he makes the catch to retire Adam Weiss. But in the inning, the Americans are able to score 2 runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 runner left on base. We played 6 complete innings, and the Americans have a chance to win this one in the top of the 7th, Ethan.
Yeah, I was wondering who's going to come in on the mound. Looks like it is going to be Aiden Morose to try and get that complete game win, as you mentioned. So he gave up those runs in the first and the fourth, but those 2 scoreless here is trying to make it another, or if it has a 1-run lead as well, 1-run deficit as well for the Mercy Rule. See as we come back.
So to look at the last couple days for the Americans, right? A big win 2 nights ago over the Tarp Skunks, then losing last night to the Muckdogs. But the Muckdogs have just been incredible this season. Now time to look at the PGCBL standings across the West Division. Batavia, like I mentioned, in first. They're on an 8-game win streak, so it'll be quite something for the Americans to put an end to that tonight. Auburn in second, now moving ahead of Jamestown, who's lost 3 in a row. They lost a tough one last night to the Ironbacks. They're 11-5. Olean in fourth. They're 7-6. Elmira 6-6. Then we've got the Americans. They're 6-8. We're on a 3-game bender. Now lost last night to the Muckdogs. The Ironbacks 1-2 in a row. Then the Pilots 1-9 on the year, 8 games out of first place, and then the Geneva Red Wings 1-10 on the season. They've lost 7 in a row. There's your PGCBL West Division standings. Ethan, some scores around the West Division.
Absolutely. So doubleheader here for Geneva and Newark. We talked about both 1 win apiece, rescheduled after the rain out yesterday. Geneva took game 1 of a doubleheader, 7-0. Midway, game number 2. Geneva up 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Niagara looking to knock off another top team here. Similar situation here to the Americans. They're up 16-6 at the top of the 7th, so trying to hold on and beat Auburn in a mercy rule. Similar here. Boonville Lumberjacks beat Glen Falls Dragons 11-6. Score here, and then Elmira up 6-3 at versus Olean. A couple other games in the West as well. Amsterdam up 5-4 in that Eastern Conference Finals matchup. They're up 5-4, top of the 8th. Finally, Mohawk Valley up 4-1 in the top of the 8th.
That one's chopped to short. Savino gets it out quick, throws it on the turf, and a smart play by Anthony Savino to use the turf to his advantage, and another nice pick at first by Adam Weiss.
Great pick at first by Adam Weiss. played it on a bounce, as you mentioned, but it's had a couple great picks in this game as well for a big first out.
Yeah, Monell got out of the box quick. You look at Anthony Savino, made the right play. Fields gets it out quickly, uses the turf to his advantage on the long hop. An easy play at first for Adam Weiss to pick it and retire Monell for the first out of the inning. In steps Braden Nye, the second baseman for the Muckdogs, 1 out in the inning. Chopped over to first, but kicks foul. Fielded by Weiss, and a nice play over there, but foul ball.
Yes, made a couple nice plays in this game. Obviously, some in play, some out of play. Still count 0-1 now, tie.
Would be a big outing if Aiden Moroz is able to go the distance, the shorter distance, but definitely a complete game would be quite a feat for him. Almost like a half marathon, going the complete distance, but the mercy rule distance.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Tom. Not getting the full marathon.
That one's hit into right. Back goes Colin Price, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Not that a half marathon is anything like a mercy rule. Still an unbelievable feat to achieve.
Stepping in for the Muckdogs, the leadoff hitter, center fielder number 20, Glenn Brooks.
Bring up Glenn Brooks. Last chance here for Batavia.
Yeah, the Muckdogs down to their final out here at Sal Magley Stadium quickly. Seems like this game just started. I know we've had a lot of walks and a lot of different things happen, but the Americans lead 15-4. They're up 11 on the first place Muckdogs. Here's the pitch from Rose. Misses inside for ball 1. Something Rose has done these past couple innings that is able to get him these zeros is pound the zone early in the count.
Absolutely. Another thing I was going to mention, I would love to see in the year if anyone this year or last year, one team has mercied the other, then the next time they play, they mercy the other way. See, Batavia mercied the Americans 15-3.
Now Moroz hits Brooks in the shoulder. Looks like he's all right. Going to take off his equipment and walk down to first as he talks to Moroz. Moroz says, "My bad." 15-4 game, obviously not intentional.
Now batting the right fielder number 50, Jalen David.
In steps Jalen David, the speedy threat for the Muckdogs. 15 steals on the season. None tonight, though. Rose checks on Brooks at first, who is definitely a threat to run as well, and lands strike number 1 against Jalen David.
Yeah, pitch number 109 for Moroz. Certainly one of the longer outings we've seen for anyone. 109 pitches through 7.
Here's the pitch from Rose. Swung on and missed, and the Muckdogs are down in their final strike. Over 100 pitches just through 62 days ago. Aiden Rose, I mean, his arm's definitely feeling it, but he's out there still going. Muckdogs down to their final strike. Jalen David in the box. Here's the 0-2 from Rose. Fastball just misses outside. Rose nods his head thinking he hit his spot, but just misses upstairs.
Still a pitcher's count here. That's what I was mentioning before. I'd like to see if a team has they've mercied each other, assuming the Americans still hold on.
Rose working from the stretch. Here's the 1-2. Chopped over to short. Savino fields on the backhand, throws on the run, and makes the play. Life, liberty, in the pursuit of a victory. The Americans pull off a 15-4 upset victory over the first place Batavia Muckdogs and are able to win a big one. Aiden Rose, a complete game outing. 15-4, the Americans beat the Muckdogs.
Just a great game so far from Moroz. 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts, 5 walks. A little bit of a concern, but just had a great overall outing. Outfield certainly helped him. Infield certainly helped him. And Americans certainly helped him hitting-wise. 7 hits as well. 15 runs. Certainly one of the best performances for the Americans on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. Took the words right out of my mouth. Both sides of the ball. I mean, 4 runs for the Muckdogs. Just an outstanding outing from Aiden Rose. You weren't sure how much he was going to be able to deliver after letting in 3 runs in that 4th inning. But it's all in that 9-run inning for the Americans back in the 2nd that allowed them to pull off this 15-4 win against the first-place Muckdogs, who, again, were riding an 8-game winning streak entering tonight. That win streak is no more, though, Ethan.
Absolutely. It's just goes back to the Americans having these games where they only give up 2 pitchers. I feel like they only have 2 pitchers in. I feel like earlier in the year, Americans have a couple like bullpen games, many players coming in. Certainly not the case here. Did see that warming in the pen for the Americans was number 8. They didn't choose to go for him. They saw Moroz was doing well. They just opted to go with him, and that's what you do when you're trusting your starter, just knowing that he's going to be able to do what he needs to and get that big out.
So the Americans move to 7-8 on the season. The Muckdogs fall to 10-3. But definitely a good sign if you're an Americans fan, ending your Saturday.
And again, you move back to 1 game below 500 here. You're 7-8. Knock off a top team who's given you fits earlier this year. More importantly, tomorrow you're playing one of a team that you were able to mercy in this last time they played them, Newark, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get back to 500.
Yeah, you look at just the week as a whole, right? A win against the Ironbacks, a win against Jamestown, now a win against Batavia. That's 3 really good teams in this West Division that they're able to get wins against. And now they'll take on the Pilots tomorrow, looking for their 4th win of this week, who they have mercied, like you mentioned, in Newark. So now the Pilots will come to Sal Maglie and take on the Americans tomorrow. It's a 4:05 start. We'll be live here on the American Sports Network at 3:55 as the Americans look for their 2nd straight. It's here at Sal Maglie Stadium. Post-game catch on the field with the players. So come out to Sal Maglie and bring your kids for a little post-game catch on the field with the Americans players. Ethan, a big win, though, for the Americans tonight against the other Can USA-owned team in the Muckdogs.
Certainly first win against Batavia. Well, haven't played Elmira yet on the year. They'll be on June 28th. It'll be a week from tomorrow. Yeah, as you mentioned, good win for the Americans. Started 1-5 now. Won 5 of their last 8. So now just really turned the corner for this Americans team.
Absolutely. Looking at the totals for tonight's ball game, 15-7-1 for the Americans, 4-7-2 for the Muckdogs. Your final score, like I mentioned, 15-4. The Americans pull off a big upset. I'm Tom Rook with Ethan Duncan saying so long. Thanks so much for spending part of your Saturday night with us, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. We'll see you tomorrow here.